Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
That's a groove! 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 That's a groove!
Hey, Nyobi! Nyobi Comics is freaking awesome! Like, what?
I set my sound down. I break it down low. I set my sound down. So how we gonna rock it? Gonna break it down. Yeah, how you wanna rock it? Gonna break it down. So how we gonna move it? Gonna break it down. Gonna flip the whole vibe. Gonna break it down. Yeah, it's not a throwback. I bring the heat back. Step on the mic and I never fall back. Drop that science with a funky twist. Every beat I touch, get a brand new lift. Electric flow when I hit that zone. Crew on the mic and we in our throne. Never let it slip. When the bass line pound, turn that system up, let it shake the ground. Talking real deep when I plant that sound. If you step to this, better hold your ground. It's a breakdown groove, time to move now. Step to the mic with the energy loud. From the block to the stage, I represent. Every bar I spit got intent. Feel so blessed when I rock like this. Do what I love, never gonna miss. From the city streets to a worldwide jam. Still keep it funky like the roots I am. You might think that I'm lost in the sound, but I'm locked in tight when I break it down. Old school vibe with a modern twist. Every beat hit hard, I can't resist. Pay respect to the legends before while we open up a brand new door. I break it down low. I set my sound down. I break it down low. I set my sound down. So how we gonna rock it? Gonna break it down. Yeah, how you wanna rock it? Gonna break it down. So how we gonna move it? Gonna break it down. Gonna fit the whole vibe. Gonna break it down. From the train rides late to the underground. Headphones on with the battle sound. Dreams get built where the beats collide. From the roots up, we amplify. Hey, break it down. Hold the ground. Hey, feel that bass. Set the pace. Music run deep like a heartbeat strong. No one can stop when the flow goes on.
Hey,
Shout to the
Nyobi!
ones that help
Nyobi
me
Comics
rise.
is
Turn
freaking
that
awesome!
passion
Like,
into a
what?
light. Every rhyme got soul inside. Every beat got truth and pride. From the roots to the top we climb. Keep that rhythm for all time. I break it down low. I set my sound down. I break it down low. I set my sound down. So how we gonna rock it? Gonna break it down. Yeah, how you wanna rock it? Gonna break it down. So how we gonna move it? Gonna break it down. Gonna flip the whole vibe. Gonna break it down. That's a groove. That's a groove. Break it down. Foundation sound. Good vibe. Hey, 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 hey. Good vibes. Good vibes. All I really want is good vibes. In the morning, good vibes. In the evening, good vibes. Good vibes. Yeah, I'm chasing good vibes all day long. I want good vibes. Back in the day, in the neighborhood scene, met this cool girl with the style so clean. We kick back while the beat played loud, laughing out, chilling in the middle of the crowd. Walk downtown just to pass some time. Sun going down, everything felt fine. Drop my luck, said you wanna roll? She just smiled, said I got my own. No stress, I kept it moving ahead another night. New faces instead, city lights and the rhythm don't stop. Every corner got a new vibe to rock. Good vibes.
We will stand and fight.
In the morning, good vibes. In the evening, good vibes.
We will stand and fight.
Good vibes. Yeah, I'm chasing.
Haven't you noticed we've been sharing our culture with you all morning?
I want good vibes. Different styles from across the map. Different laughs in the way they shine. From the clubs to the late night spots. Every face has got a story and a lie. We keep grooving, let the music play. No problems left away. Hands up high when the beat drops low. Feel that rhythm in your soul. Two-step left, then you slide to the right. Everybody vibing through the night. No drama here, just energy bright. We keep it moving to the sunrise light. No labels,
Oh my future. Oh my future.
let the good time come and go. From the street to the stage we ride. All we want is that feel good vibe. Hey, feel the groove.
Oh my future. Oh my future.
Hey, hey, keep it live. Oh, good vibes.
What it is what it is.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Good vibes. All I really want is good vibes. In the morning, good vibes. In the evening, good vibes. Good vibes. Yeah, we keep it alive all day long. That's the vibe. Good vibes.
We're going to take a baseball bat to a horseman, finish the job, because there's one rule of gang fighting. See, we are the original gang, and we're the most vicious in all of professional wrestling history. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue.
Tell me now. Plug me in, yeah, I spark that sound. Flip
Then what I say? I said I will shut that shit down.
slick, but I see right through. All that noise don't mean nothing new. So tell me why you act so loud. Fighting hard just
We have a
like
future, Charles, not them.
in my mind, I'm breaking
They no longer matter.
Turn that pressure to a brand new sound. Let it roll like a wave on blast. Step on stage and I move that fast. Got precision in the lines I drop. Every word hit hard. No
Holy shit.
Tell me now what you want. So what you want? What you want? Step right up, go front. Whoa. Where you get that info from? Think you know, but you know just some. I keep flowing like a steady stream. Living real, not a filtered dream. Mic to mic, yeah, I call it out. Make the whole room scream and shout. You can see what I get.
We have a future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter. We have a future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
My path, I don't follow trends. Stay sharp, never play pretend. Eyes wide open, I read the scene. Know what's fake and what's surely mean. Hey, speak it out. Oh, no doubt. Hey, make it clear. Oh, we right here. So what you want? What you want? Tell me now what you want.
Oh my future. Oh my future.
Step right up, go front.
Oh my future. Oh my future.
What you want? Say it loud. Right now. Kick it. Turn it up. Hey. Turn it up. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Turn it up. Kick it. Turn it. Turn it. Turn it up.
Will you look at me? I have the power!
Turn it up. Hey. Yeah, 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 yeah. You ain't
Conan,
up late. Alarm
what is
still
best in life?
fusing. Books in your bag.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good.
But your daydream big, you don't waste time. They say sit still, you say no way. You're living fast in your own lane. They try to hold you down, but you'll break away. Rules on the wall, yeah, you disobey. You gotta shout for your right to get loud. You gotta live, stand tall, be proud. You gotta fight, don't follow the crowd. Rebel noise. Turn it up right now. Turn it up right now.
He's crazy.
Caught you sneaking out. Where you going? You say just me.
He's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
I am the best wrestler in the world. I've been the best ever since day one when I walked into this company, and I've been vilified and hated since that day because Paul Heyman saw something in me that nobody else wanted to admit. That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
This is the truth of it. Fighting leads to killing, and killing gets to warring. And that was damn near the death of us all. Look at us now. Busted up and everyone talking about hard rain. But we've learned, by the dust of them all, Barter Town's learned. Now when men get the fighting, it happens here. And it finishes here. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Finally, The Rock has come back!
This is home, JR! Right here!
Home. Best there is, the best there was, or the best there ever will be.
Drink it cold, put it on ice, feel that rhythm, get in nice.
All hail the Ayatollah of rock and roll!
Smile with a confident smile, we laugh it off. Clean, just good vibes in the party scene. Step to the bar, let the good times roll. Music
Look at me.
we lose control.
I have the power!
Nyobi Comics kind of just fooled the shit out of me.
Energy jumping all over the place. No stress here, just let it loose.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself, Megatron. I am the game!
If I hear my fucking voice on your little shit show, I'm gonna Liam Gray your ass!
After 3 boring minutes, The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth!
No rest till Brooklyn, man. Is it great to be alive on a new Comic Book Wednesday or what? This is it. I'm LP. I'm the writer and creator of the comic books Nyobi and Savage Syn. And of course, as always, I bid you welcome. Welcome to the end of the internet. Welcome to Beyond the Walls of Ice. And welcome to the Canadas of your soul.
To another edition of Thunderdome!
Yay! It is our weekly podcast where I get together. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes it's with a posse. Sometimes it's chill. Comic book podcast. I mean, I don't know what we should call it. I called it the Broken Panel, Nyobi's Live Podcast. I mean, I don't know. If you got names, catchy names that aren't being used, by all means, what should we call this thing? Where we get together and we gab about these funny pictures we see in these magazines, you know, these crazy things called comic books, where guys like me, guys and gals like me, try and push our product, try and push our ideas, try and get our stories into as many hands as possible. And holy shit, it's a long grind. It's like wrestling in the indies, hoping one day you are going to make it to the WWE. And you know what? Most of those guys in those backyards and those little small indie federations never, ever, ever, ever make it to the big game. And that's a question I'm going to ask Sam Quinton when he gets on here. If he's got any ambitions to work for the big two at all. You know what I mean? I know I certainly do. I mean, probably still need a little bit more writing credits under my belt sort of deal. But it's something that at some point I'm going to actively pursue. I'm going to start emailing editors. I'm going to start setting Dropbox links to material. I'm going to start making a push. You know what I mean? After I'm done my current sort of assignment, you know, let's get Outbreak 5 done. Let's get it out in the hands of the people. I just submitted Outbreak 4 to Ben Dunn yesterday for publication. So that's going to happen. And then it won't be long and we're submitting Outbreak 5. You know what I mean? So I do have Sam in the back. It's a Sam and Larry show. And we'll have Nick Capone joining us maybe in 30 minutes or so. And of course, the door is always open for anyone in my private live show group to jump in. That's why it's there. That's why it exists. Click the link. Come on in. But if you're not part of that illustrious group of creators, then maybe you might want to reach out to me or let me know in the chat if you jumping on the show is something that you want to happen. Am I running solo without a Wookiee? Not today. We do got Samuel L. Quinton III, the Bitcoin assassin extraordinaire, with us here tonight. And I'm going to make sure I turn up the volume because most of the intro is pretty low because I'm a boomer and I forgot to turn up my OBS. What do you think, Sam? You're fucking mute. You're a boomer too. Holy shit. All right, we're going to play a boomer moment.
Do I have it on the wrong mic again?
Well, you did, but now I got to play the boomer moment, okay?
Damn it.
All right. Here we go. This is for both me and Sam.
Am I a boomer? Huh? Am I a boomer? Huh? Boom! How about that? Am I a boomer? Boom! Boom! Boom!
This is it, Sam. We're boomers, man. Not technically, but, you know. When you fuck up your tech, you're a boomer.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get to my good mic. Hold on a second.
No, you're good right now.
All right, well, let's use the headset mic. I forgot that I'd been playing a video game.
Video games?
Yeah, I'd been playing a video game with my buddies on Sunday, I think it was. So
yeah, what are you gaming up, bro? What's up?
We were playing Enshrouded.
I've heard of that, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's a survival game. We don't have it set for very high difficulty. We just enjoy running around, building and killing monsters and stuff. It's pretty smooth.
I mean, that's kind of half the fun of a video game, you know, is building and killing.
Now, you were saying that you had a question for me about working for the big two.
Whoa, you want to jump right into that, or do we want to ease into things?
Well, I mean,
it's up to you.
It's the middle of the week. Let's jump in with both feet. I've got plenty of stuff here that we can talk about,
Yeah.
And I say we give the people something to watch.
Sure. Well, I got a small list of topics because it's kind of been a slow news day, so I got a couple of ideas that we can talk about, mostly fluff pieces, but, there's two things that I sort of want to go over for sure. And that is, the question, the ball that I already threw to you. But when we get Nick Capone on, Nick Capone, what a guy, man. Nick Capone lays down the fucking law on fucking Twitter today, and I only caught it by the corner of my eye. I'm like, ooh, this is juicy. This is interesting,
And he didn't tag me, man, because I haven't seen it yet. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Well, I posted it in our private group chat, the whole thing he said.
I like I said, I've been running around since I got off.
Okay, so you didn't read.
I actually I haven't looked in the group chat very much other than 7 o'clock cool. But you gotta understand, I actually had to leave work early today to go pick up some more insulin because I had run out of insulin and it wasn't ready yesterday. So I had to get over there and I had to go see my doctor to sign off on something real quick before they'd do this other thing. So there was a bunch of stuff I had to do like right at the end of the day. And I was running back and forth across Frankfort, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I get it, man. Real life has to come first. You know what I mean? When it concerns this show, like I told you guys in the chat, it doesn't matter to me what time we start. I mean, until I got a 9 to 5 or something, it's pretty much wide open.
I made it to the comic shop today too, so I've got some show and tell stuff later too.
I wasn't gonna go, but I ended up going, and one of the books I wanted was fucking sold out on me.
Which one?
Cyclops #5, and that would have finished the set. So no Cyclops #5. I knew I should have put it on hold, and I didn't because I don't want to be committed for too much.
I'm taking Willow to the comic shop on Saturday.
Yeah.
If there's one there, I'll pick it up for you.
No. They're gonna back order it for me, bro.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because if they have it, I can pick it up and just ship it when I ship your next Kickstarter.
It's too much money, man. Fucking for a $5 comic. No, they'll back order it, and in a week or two it will show up. You know what I mean?
All right, cool deal.
Yeah. As long as there's back orders available. Most Marvel books you can back order unless if it's just something crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was all impressed today because when I was in there, I always talk about the younger generation finding comics and knowing these characters, right? And my mind was blown away today, as it often is, because I'm seeing a younger generation slowly, and it's fucking painstaking pulling and dragging, but slowly sort of coming around, back around to this zone, and it's the kid could have been no more than fucking 4 or 5. Okay. Comes in with his dad, and the very first thing he does is run up to where all the toys are and says Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he starts pointing out other characters. Oh, there's Spider-Man, there's this, there's that. But he went straight for fucking Deadpool. And the kid walked out with the Deadpool toy,
When I got to the comic shop today, there was no one else in there except for the 2 guys who were working. They were going through and sorting back stock because their back stock is entirely out of order, right? There's nothing's together. It's a mess. But that happens, it's a satellite store, blah, blah, blah. But I get in there and I think I was the first customer because there wasn't any other customers in there. I'm looking through some stuff and then 4 high school kids come in 10 minutes later and they're real excited to be in the comic shop. And I was like, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Did they buy any comics? Did you notice?
Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah. Was it manga or comics?
No, it was comics. So one of the guys was definitely a Marvel dude.
Right.
Very definitely. He was picking up, what was he picking up today? I know he got the Doom that I got last week. And then that was, he got that. And then he picked up, what the hell? I'm drawing a blank on what the other one was. But the one of the other kids, the DC guy, and I say DC guy because he was picking up Absolute Batman.
Of course.
And he also picked up, I thought this was kind of neat. He picked up this title I didn't recognize. It had a DC label on it, but I couldn't make out the cover. But it was real dark. And it was the last one on the shelf. And I was like, what is that? He's like, oh man, you ain't getting this out of me. And I was like, okay, dude, that wasn't what I was asking. But all right. But he was real protective of it. So you got to admire the hustle. Right. So I'm gonna have to figure out what it was that he was picking up because he was really like, no, man, I ain't showing nobody. It's mine. I'm like, all right, cool, man, cool, whatever.
Well, that tells me that's a flip.
Well, the other thing, the other 2 guys, one of them was actually picking up some stuff by he's picking up the Space Ghost stuff. And then I noticed he picked up a couple. Yeah, he picked up a couple of Mad Cat titles.
Yep.
And the other thing too that he picked up was Sonic.
Sonic's huge, dude.
Sonic, yeah, he picked up Sonic.
Sonic is massive. I never would have thunk it, but it is.
I was talking to the guys at the shop, and they're like, at that store, the big thing that they weren't expecting is My Little Pony and Sonic are selling like freaking mad.
They
said that Sonic is selling more than Batman.
I believe it. I mean, it's shocking for me to say that, but I mean, just observing for the last couple of years, just there's a YouTuber named Razor, right? Razor Comics. You might have ran into him once or twice around here, right?
I've been on the stream when you've shown some of his stuff. I've never been on a show.
Well, I don't know if it's his kid or his grandkid. I think he's got grandkids at this stage, but they fucking love Sonic, right? Like the younger generation's all about Sonic. And like, to me, Sonic was a game I played briefly on the Sega Genesis. You know what I mean?
And then it was a cartoon too.
Yeah, but you see, I never saw the cartoon, and I never seen these movies. I hear they're
Canada. Yeah, I've never seen the movies either. But
yeah,
did you guys not have Sonic cartoons in Canada?
Oh, I'm sure that we did, but I mean, at that stage in life, I would have been in 20s, 30s. Not watching that. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Speaking of cartoons, have you caught up on your X-Men 97?
I am only a couple of episodes into the first season, and
okay. So what was the last episode you watched?
Episode 3.
So what happened?
So I haven't got to 5 yet. So, I don't remember, man.
Okay,
I was watching
episode 3
with Willow on Sunday.
Well, on episode 3, that's when we get the introduction of Madeline Pryor, the clone of Jean Grey. Did that happen?
No, then maybe I didn't get as far as I thought I did. I haven't got to that.
Or maybe you're watching the wrong series.
No, I'm watching 97.
Are you sure it's not 92?
Oh, you know what? Maybe. I'll check.
Because here's the thing, right? So
it did look awful familiar.
Well, here's the thing, right?
I might be watching 92 and then fucked it up, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you are, because you would know. Like, if you got to episode 3, Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, shows up, right? And she has this big one-on-one battle with Magneto and shit. Like, there's no mistaking this.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see that. So
I think you're watching 92.
And
here's the thing with 92. They all connect. Like, the X-Men 97 series is a direct spin-off from 92. Everything that happens in 92 matters in 97. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt to watch those, but you're talking like 5-6 seasons worth of fucking cartoons that they go through.
Hey, man, I can watch me a bunch of fucking cartoons.
What I would suggest is just skipping that, jumping ahead right to X-Men 97. Start there, because that's what we're going to be covering, right? And then you can go back and watch the older ones.
I will probably have to do that a little bit on Sunday afternoon, because, as you know, Friday we have a Kickstarter launching.
Oh, is it this Friday?
It's this Friday. Yep.
Man.
And then I need to round up and see who has shows that have openings in the next couple of weeks. I have a scheduled show on Sunday evening. So that's gonna be fun with a guy who I've met many times here locally, who actually does a show with Warren. So which
Downtown
I didn't know.
Warren Brown.
Yeah, Lunchbox Warrens, I tell you. So I'm doing a show with him on Sunday, and then hey, no stealth launch. I've been telling everybody.
Yeah, you have.
We've got the weird thing is, man, we've got more views on like the pre-launch page that was pinned to the X account so far. We put it up Sunday night or Monday night, something like that. And we've got more views on that than we have any other Reign of Ages or even Necroholic or 47 Furious Tales post. The only thing we've ever put up that's gotten more attention than this launch is Tibby and her time-traveling psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a couple people in the chat. Let's see what they're saying here. Blight Blazer says he's a Ben Dunn guy. That's right. It's been done before. It's been done again because it's a Ben Dunn deal.
And Blight Blazer's been sharing the hell out of these things, man. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you.
I did see him sharing you on Twitter today.
Yep. He's been sharing everything. I appreciate it. That helps a whole lot.
We got Massive Panda up here in the shizzle. He says, "What's going on? What's up, Sam?"
You know, what is going on is I did all those errands, and I've been doing inventory to see what we could offer for add-ons.
Okay.
And to give you an idea, where did I put that?
Well, you can hold that thought for a second. I'm going to read a little bit more here. Massive Panda says, I enjoyed some of those old Sonic and Archie comics in the 90s, but I'm only loosely familiar with the IDW series based on internet talk. I regret not getting on board with it early on.
I took a look at it today. I didn't pick it up, but I didn't pick it up because, I had like high school kids trying to get to where I was at. And I was like, well, it's okay. But it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good.
So before you start showing off things, right?
No, I was just going to say, I did pick up some stuff.
So I only picked up 2 comics today. 4? Oh, that's a lot for me. That'd be like breaking the bank.
3 were back stock though.
Yeah.
But when you see the ones I got, you're going to be surprised because I got them in the dollar bin.
Yeah. Well, the dollar bin's the best place to go. You know what I mean?
I think you're going to be surprised what I found in the dollar bin.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. When you're at this comic book shop, and you said they newly opened, is that right?
Well, they said they opened in September, right? And of course,
So
my
less
dad
than a
died.
year.
Right, my dad died August 31st, and I've been, absolutely nowhere near a comic shop.
Right.
I've been, a couple of convention appearances this year, but I didn't even know they were there. And I happened to be driving by. I had to go downtown for state business, and was driving down the highway and just happened to see them on the left. And I'm like, holy crap! And they're a satellite of a comic shop I know in Lexington, right? So I was like, I know they didn't move here because that would make absolutely no sense. But so now they've got,
well, business is so good they got a second shop.
Well, this is their third actually. They've got 2 in Lexington.
Yeah,
and both of those have been operational for. Well, one of the locations they bought an existing location after the owner had passed and left it to his son, and then his son sold it to them, is my understanding. Which was a huge loss in the comic community, actually. Not because the son was great, don't get me wrong, but his dad was just an icon for comics in Kentucky. Just one of the nicest guys, one of the most knowledgeable comic fans you're ever going to meet. Bill, rest in peace, brother. He was one of the people who inspired me when I opened my shop, and when I would talk to him about, trying to learn the business so that I could then, generate enough revenue to get into making comics. He's like, man, when you start making comics, that's going to be cool. I'm like, I'm going to try, man. I just wish he had lived long enough to see me do it.
Yeah, I hear you. I wish my father could see everything that Nyobi has grown into or will, I get to share it all with my mother, all the good and the bad, you know what I mean?
I tell you, when I went to Dad's viewing and was talking to a lot of people, Dad had been sharing comic. When you're a kid and you share comics with your friends and everything.
Yeah.
Dad had been sharing my comics with guys he worked with the people in the sheriff's department, with people at the prison, people in the city government and everything. So I'm at this viewing and memorial ceremony for my father, and we get it finished up, and there's like 30 people there telling me that they enjoyed reading my books and asking when. That just blew my freaking mind, man.
This is it. Now, when you were at the shop, did you talk to them about any potential deal where they could carry your book or anything like that?
No, because there's a reason for that, which I'll get into later, but and probably off camera, because that's an ongoing discussion, right?
Okay.
But the thing I did talk to them about, because I don't know how much leeway he's given his satellite stores,
right?
So I asked them, since we have this Kickstarter coming up, and we're going to fulfill in July, that's just how it's going to be. We're going to be shipping books. We will probably come on a show one Wednesday night and be packaging books while we're on the show.
It'll be both of us, because it's not going to be long, and I'm going to be having to fulfill Outbreak 5.
Yeah. So I am, let me turn that off. I'm trying to see if they want to do a signing event at the shop, right?
That'd be cool.
And just kind of a casual thing where they don't have to really worry about putting out any cash or anything. And then we can see what the local interest is. We can pull some folks in. I'm going to talk to the guy that I'm on the show with on Sunday and see if they agree. Well, I'm going to see if they agree first. And if they agree, I'm going to see if he wants to come down and stream from it, with their consent, of course. Because, if they can get some more traffic in there, I'm all for supporting your local comic shop, right?
100.
And if it's, I can burn a couple 3 hours or whatever to come down and sign books for people and answer questions and stuff, and it's no skin off my nose, right?
Well, look, it's a good way to be involved, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're, last time I did a book signing, I think we may have sold 6 copies. Nothing the record breaking, right? But I hung out the shop for a couple hours. I was there from like just 2 hours, from 6 to 8. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about doing that, Sam, right, is that other people are going to notice that, oh, hey, this guy makes comics, blah, blah, blah. And then what ends up happening is you start, kind of get noticed by people who do events and conventions and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
As opposed to random people in Kroger who say, hey, you were on the show with the Angry Canadian.
That angry Canadian. Am I really that angry? I always sound like I think I'm like pretty joyful.
Oh, no, you were definitely in an angry phase.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes.
Maybe
But
I
it's
missed my
okay.
calling. I probably could have had like a really big channel. We just called it like the Angry Canadian, and I just like wear a lumberjack shirt and just fucking go off on shit.
You should so do that and then just cover like no comics, no pop culture.
Yeah, just fucking bullshit,
Just do like political stuff, like cover
no.
No, I'm saying don't even put your name on it. Just call it the Angry Canadian. Get a different, little VTuber icon.
No, this is it.
Maybe do a different South Park one. Do Chef.
No, well, here's the thing, right? With this avatar, he cost me $200 to even have made,
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty limited in what he can do. He can blink his eyes, he can move his mouth, and if I want, he can like bob his head around. You know what I mean? But it looks dumb,
Gotcha.
so he doesn't do it. I'm never getting another one. This is it. You know what I mean? And when this computer breaks down and I can't figure out how to reinstall them, that trip is done.
I have a buddy of mine, and he's older than I am, right? He's like 61, 62, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And he has he's on a medical retirement, right? He had been injured in the Marine Corps, and he discovered this AI program that will take and you shoot your film to it, and then it takes and transforms you into an avatar. And this I was talking to him. He's like, I'm on OnlyFans now. I'm like, wait, what?
What?
And he has this AI girl on YouTube. I'm like,
we truly
dude,
are, man, in the cyberpunk world. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's just so messed up. He's like, yeah, man. He's
But I'm
like,
making money.
He's like, I'm making more money now than before I got injured. I'm like, holy shit. Okay.
Oh, simping ain't easy, bro. I'll tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
God, I'm glad I don't have that problem, man.
dude, I wouldn't.
I tell you what, like, I like I say, I did the Facebook dating thing. I went on one date so far, and
Right.
I just I'm real transparent about people.
You're right. You should be
To the
like, hey,
people I'm
baby, I write comics, and she like stands
and
up and walks out the room.
this is how my life goes, right?
Right.
And if they like it, cool. If they don't, okay. It's cool. It's good to meet you and go on.
It's like that meme. You see Mary Jane from the first Spider-Man movie, right? And she's like yelling at someone, and Peter's behind her. She's like, he's not unemployed. He writes comics.
Gotta love that.
Right.
I have a day job.
I'm looking at, it looks like I'm going to be doing security work.
I've done a lot of different security work
Yeah.
over the years.
I mean, this ain't going to be, this is like me like going to ball games and concerts and events,
I've done concert security before.
right?
Yep,
So
way back, 92, 93, and one in 94.
So there's a small company here. I did an interview. The thing is, we got to pay for our security license, which really sucks. That comes out of our
Yeah.
own pocket. And that's $100 I had to throw down and hope this works out. You know what I mean?
100 Canadian or 100 real money?
No, 100 Canadian.
Damn.
Which
That's
is like $75 your money.
Yeah, something like that.
That's about 20 to 30%, difference in monetary. It fluctuates, but it's around that ballpark. Yep. That's why being in Canada, trying to make a comic book really sucks because we're paying extra for everything because everything that we have to get for the most part is coming from the US.
I'm telling you, man, mix them and get them to print in the US. I mean, in Canada for you.
Well, maybe next book I'll look into that. Right now, like, because I just need it done, I'm sticking with the familiar. You know what I mean?
They actually reached out to me the other day.
Did they?
Yep.
And what are
They are going to be. They wanted permission to showcase some of the stuff we've done over the years, this month, on their social media and on their website.
Hell yeah,
so we
free
should.
promotion.
yeah, so we should start seeing some stuff from stuff on Mix'em. So it'd be kind of cool.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so no, I'll do Comics Wellspring now because I know how it operates, and plus I'm getting my 10% discount. I kind of don't want to waste that. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you can still get that discount at the Comics Wellspring, of course, but because here's the thing too, like Mix'em doesn't do like foil covers or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
do they even do blank variants?
Yeah. You can do blank variants.
Because
That's no
Comics
problem.
Wellspring doesn't appear like they do those anymore, so I got to give them a call.
Yeah, they have changed some of the stuff that's available, and I'm kind of worried about that because I didn't see a holochrome art print option.
No, that's fucking done, I think.
Well, yeah, and I do really well on those, so
Is it?
I just have to find another source, I guess. I found a source in Los Angeles, and I can't afford them because what I got from Comics Wellspring for under $10, they want $35 for.
Fuck that.
And I'm like, it ain't happening, homie.
Ain't happening, homie.
I'm like, no. I'll have to call the Rooftop Koreans and we'll come down there and talk to you or something.
They're nasty, eh? They're brutal.
Well, that was from the whole Rodney King riots.
Oh no, I know the story. I know the story.
The we got way off on big tangents.
Well, welcome to the show. This is what happens. You know what I mean? Hold on, we got someone in the back, and I just want to check the chat. Massapana says, I still find it hilarious that someone in a grocery store randomly recognized Sam from the Nyobi channel. Small world.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Literally, while I'm picking out, I think I was picking out steaks or pork chops or something.
We got Nick Capone, by the way.
Hi guys.
Sky Maiden Studios.
This is it, man. This man's making waves, working. Working
I
in
have
the
Sky
industry,
Maiden.
coloring hard, and making his own books,
Hey, Nick, recognize this?
Oh wait.
Yes, that was the Ken Hunt cover.
Well, no,
that
you
I
can't
found.
just fucking flash things without me
I'm sorry.
screening you.
I'm sorry.
Show the
I was doing
class.
inventory,
Yeah,
and
show
I
that.
found
Ooh.
that I still had some Ken Hunts. Now, Nick had told me some of his had bad cut on the cover, and I checked this because mine, the ones I mailed out, didn't have any trouble with it, and I picked one at random, and this one has a bad cut, so I'm gonna have to go through the ones I
Now,
have.
what do you mean for those? I know what you're saying, but for those that are watching, that what do you mean by a bad cut? Let's go over this a little bit. 'Cause that's useful information.
I'll show you. Whenever I get stuff in, I check the inventory to make sure that everything's cut correctly. And on a couple of these, you see,
that's fucking brutal.
Right.
Put that
And
right
so-
up to the camera. I want everyone to see
so
this.
this is one I can't use,
Guys,
right?
pause. You cannot have this happen. This
Right.
is why templates exist.
Well, this was on the same template all the rest of
Yeah,
them
but your
used. This is
letterer
actually
fucked up then. Because,
no, it wasn't the letterer because
Well-
here's the thing. This is a mechanical failure because when you take and you look at it, you'll see that I don't know if it'll show up on my camera. You'll see that the cut is off. You see where you can see the pages?
Yeah, it's barely though.
But that's what happened.
I mean,
to
there
it.
should be at least a good centimeter between that word and the edge of that fucking book.
I usually don't give that much space on the edge though.
You need
and so
to,
maybe
man. That's the reason why, right there.
Well, like I said, I'll have to get rid of some of these, the ones that don't fit for that. But that was the only book I've had that happen on. But you know what else I found, Nick?
What?
Ooh, look at that.
That's my first cover. It's my issue 1. That's my biggest seller of Rain. They don't go for the main cover, unfortunately. They always go for my cover. But it's also my convention banner, my Rain banner. So that's probably why. But people always gravitate to that cover for Rain.
And something I thought I was sold out of.
Oh, that's a good one too.
JP Buzio.
I'm fully out of JP's cover, so that's good to hear.
Did you check the Rain issue 3s yet to see if there was anything that you caught that was a problem?
I have not. I had like a crazy deadline with Dynamite at the moment, and I just wrapped it up. I promise I will look at it like tomorrow. It was like,
yeah, so long as I can get it by Sunday.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Yeehaw.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
The Virgin variant. And then we have the of the not safe for work covers. I'm not going to show those.
Just
we
cover
have
it up.
one for issue 2. And I can't cover up the issue 2 one.
Yeah.
My hands aren't big enough.
Okay.
It's like right in your face kind of thing. But we only have like 2 of them left because we only printed, I think, like 25 of them or something like that. And then we've got probably 30 of the Reign of Ages 3 not safe for work one. I've got to figure out how I can market those. But that Reign of Ages issue 3 not safe for work is this one without the clothing on it.
Roger that.
So it's a badass one.
Well, let me ask you this, since we're talking about Kickstarter, and you said again this Friday goes live, right?
Yes, this Friday. So, let me see if I can go grab the promotional link real quick.
Throw the link in the chat. You got moderator status, at least you should.
Yeah, I do. I just have to. I don't have YouTube up at the moment. Let me go get YouTube and all that. So.
Massive Pan in the chat says, Nick, that's a beautiful cover, man. You made her look elegant and gorgeous.
Thank you.
There you go, man. So Nick, catch us up. What's up with you? What's been going on? How's your week
There
been?
we go.
It's going good. I am working on 2 books at the moment. The first, well, actually, technically 3 books. The first 2 books are with Dustin Brunell with Ethereal Comics.
Ethereal Comics, yeah.
And then the other book I'm working on is Cinderella Fairy Godkiller, which is my book. That's launching in a month and 7 days, so a month and a week from now. Cinderella
Countdown is on.
Yeah. So
and the fun part is that we'll have the Sky Maiden ad on the Reign of Ages books that should be in people's hands while your campaign is live.
yes. So it's purely like it's a fun time to be alive right now in the indie universe. So like keeping busy, but just a little bit of a mix of that, and then I have a crossover book happening in September, which it's not really a surprise anymore, but I have that's the meeting I have tonight. I'm doing a first ever Purity crossover. It's going to be a 3-issue stunt, and it's featuring Ethan Farina's character Reptilia, which he's launched her stories on Kickstarter for a couple years now. She's basically, I love this character. I loved it for years. She's basically if Tomb Raider was a time traveler and loved dinosaurs. That's basically his character Reptilia. She's a great character, but we're having a 4-issue mini. I'm sorry. That's launching the issue 1 is launching in September. And then October, we're launching the very first Purity trade paperback. So,
yeah, brother.
Featuring an intro by John Stinsman himself.
Hey, bud.
Yeah. And it's a good time. So keeping very busy.
Well, this is how you want to be, right? You know, and the summer's generally, right, usually a busier sort of season for comics, right?
Correct.
Because, you know, I mean, just a lot of shit seems to be happening. Summer events, big blockbuster movies, plus all the conventions and stuff, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be at the East Coast Comic Expo in 9 days. I mean, it's coming right around the corner, and that's my big WrestleMania show. That's the big one for me. And
Nice.
you know, where I get to be one of the guests of honor. There's like fucking 48, 50 guests. Like it's something else.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, they're really piling it on this year, and I look forward to doing it. And so, if anyone out there locally is watching, you guys want to come to the Moncton Coliseum, June 12th, Friday night, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock if you got VIP, and come scoop up the hottest Nyobi variants right off my table because I'm gonna have them. You know. This is it, man. Plus, I'll have cheap books. So we'll have I got like a short box that like everything in the box is like fucking $5. You know what I mean, or less. You know.
That's cool.
So a lot of my Antarctic Press copies will be in there and stuff like that, like the comps that I've gotten throughout the years. I need to shave some of this off, man. You know what I mean?
Need to free up some space, right?
Well, you know, I got 4 long boxes that have nothing but Nyobi and Savage Syn in them, and I like to maybe condense that down to 2.
Those are rookie numbers, son. Those are rookie numbers.
Well, look, I don't carry any more than I think I can sell, you know?
Well, that's a fair point. I print heavy, although we're not going to print as heavy on this issue of Reign and Reign 5. We're going to print probably closer to Fulfillment and maybe 200, 300 extra copies after
I'm not
that.
even doing that many extras now. I'm printing the Fulfillment, and then each book I'm going to have maybe up to 10 extras, and that's it.
I forget. Nick, do you remember how many we printed of Reign 1, the Aisha cover? Was it 2,000 copies?
A lot.
I don't remember. I know. How many did I send you? 500?
No, you sent me, I think you sent me 1,000 actually.
Did I send you 1,000? Okay.
Yeah.
I know we printed heavy. I've got maybe 150, 200 left. So I mean, the money is definitely in the books if you aren't having to live off of it, right? If you're making it the long game. It does look really, all the stuff looks really great at your cons and causes people to stop and having a nice variety of stuff. And I think Purity is going to do really well with, the dichotomy between that just really ballsy kind of storytelling you're doing with it, and then the more dark fantasy-esque Reign side of it, and then all the other stuff you're working on too. But I don't know what we can all talk about yet.
Yeah, thank you. No, there's a lot of stuff I really can't talk about at the moment.
I know some people who seem really happy that you agreed to color for them. Like
for Ethereal?
Well, I wasn't going to mention the name, Nick, but yeah, because I saw one of the guys on a live stream. He was saying, "Yeah, we got Nick Capone."
Hell yeah, you do.
He's like, "Yeah," because you know how I talk when I get around Fernando. That's what he sounded like.
Yeah. It just shows that I am everywhere.
I know, right? I fanboy out so hard around Fernando, and every time I'm going to be around, I'm like, Fernando, I'm not going to fanboy out this time. And then he walks in, he's like, "Hi, Sam," and I sound like a 6-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah, no, like he's one of my mentors, and being a diehard Archie fan, it's always like I get to see him every day, but I get to talk to him pretty frequently. He's great. He's like a legend for me, at least. He's definitely a great, and I always cherish working with him. I just colored a cover of his for this book called Blade of Justice, and it was so much fun to color over him again.
Well, gentlemen, man, we got lots to talk about tonight, and I don't know where you want to start.
Let's get back to the Big Two conversation real quick, because there's plenty to say about that.
Okay, well, so Nick, I don't know if you heard the question, but I asked Sam. I said, "Do you have it's great to have our own sort of IPs and stuff, right? But I think, and this is just me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I often am. But I think in order to elevate our own books, we need to have credits that are mainstream, so that people would recognize the name from something else and then come over to get our stuff. I have big ambitions to one day write a backup story or something for Magic or the X-Men someday, some way, somehow. And I was telling Sam, like, I'm going to start getting serious about this and start emailing editors and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if is that an ambition of yours or Sam's?
Well, so that especially, I want to say this because I have it's a different experience for everyone. Going to the Kubert School definitely influenced me to pursue more mainstream level work. Because I originally, before going to the Kubert School, I was always an indie guy. I always, at a very young, I was already bored by Batman and Superman at a very young age. I was actually very hot take. I was more interested in the Bat family than Batman himself. And to this day, I'm still like that. But I was pretty bored by the mainstream. I was picking up Image books. I was picking up anything I could find that wasn't Spider-Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, at a very impressionable age. So I was always an indie guy. However, the time when I was at the Kubert School, now this was about 15 years ago. It was 10 years since my graduation, so probably like roughly 15 or 16 years ago when I was a first year. It was at a time when the New 52 just came out, and everyone went into the school wanting to work for Marvel and DC. They kind of prepared us to work for the mainstream and then indie, which is not always a bad thing. But I kind of made this game plan that if I pursued mainstream stuff first, I build I would network through there and build my connections, whether if it's with editors or other artists, creatives, writers. And then by the time I launched my independent stuff, I already would have had like an existing team of people kind of backing me up a little bit. And so that was always kind of my plan. So when I when I was coloring, that's why I broke in as a colorist, because I was always told the industry always needs a new colorist and a new letterer. But regardless of that, it got more eyes on me, so that way when I worked on my own stuff, and even like with Reign of Ages, for example, people gravitate towards that, especially since I think we had this conversation a while back when I started working with Giselle Lagasse on Pixie Chicks comics, and then I slowly trickled in from Giselle's work to Archie stuff. I got a lot of their fans looking at Purity and just the other books that I put out, and it was solely because I worked with those two, publishing companies. So to answer your question, I think it's always good to want to work for the mainstream, but I will say this, because I recently saw a post by Stephanie Phillips, who's a DC writer. She said that you could want to work for DC and Marvel, but you also need to look beyond them. So what I got from it is, yeah, you have your goals, but at the same time, you don't have to be bound by DC and Marvel.
Sure, right. So my whole attack of plan is try and get in the door at least for something, just so you can say, hey, I did something for Marvel, so that you can use that. It's like wrestling for the WWE, but you no longer wrestle for them anymore. But because you were a WWE star, you're going to do conventions on that for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sam, what about you? What say you?
Yeah.
So for the big two, I don't really have a lot of aspirations about it, but there are two projects I would really enjoy undertaking. And the first one is basically because of some of the people I work with, right? And that is, I would, and I've already pitched this. I sent the email in, never got a response. I'm going to pitch it again because I think it's a good idea. I would love to do a Wonder Woman story, specifically with Damian Torres on art, and either Nick Capone on interior colors or Dakota Erhan, okay? Because these guys work brilliantly together, right? That would be really more of a thing to do for Damian, and I think Nick could really show off a lot with that too. Dakota as well, for that matter. And Taylor Esposito on letters, because if you ask me who I want to letter a book, I'm going to say Taylor Esposito unless he's not available. And then I'm going to say I wish it was Taylor Esposito.
To Phil Esposito, the goalie for Chicago Blackhawks.
I don't think so.
That's the only Esposito I know.
And then for Marvel, I would actually really like to write The Punisher.
Oh yeah, what would you do with the Punisher if you had him in your hands? I know maybe you don't have that all mapped out, but
no, I have an outline in my safe file actually. I would tell the story under the original chronology of him being a Vietnam veteran, age him up to the present day, so in his 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
Old man Frank,
and
off my lawn.
Have him going out with a bang. And so it'd be the death of the original Punisher.
You know what the first cover's got to be with him like that? Legit, on a rocking chair, on a lawn with a shotgun, and the caption says, "Get off my lawn."
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
For me, if we're talking about kind of like dream books to work on.
Let's go there.
I'm not going to say Lady Death because if we're talking exclusively Marvel and DC, if it was DC, surprisingly, I always wanted to work on a Teen Titans book, and I also would have loved to work on a Birds of Prey book. Again, Bat family adjacent books. I never wanted to work on Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. In that sense. But for Marvel, I always wanted to work on a She-Hulk story.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That would be so much fun. I would literally go to town with that. Whether if it's colors, writing, anything. Like, as long as I'm on this said book, it's, it would be a blast.
Well, I think at some point, much like the WWE or AEW, and I know I keep, sort of comparing this to wrestling, but there's a lot of ways that it does compare. These big companies, are going to have to start finding other talent, for books, right? You can only rely on the same sort of set of names for so long, and that new talent has to come from somewhere,
I agree. Everyone's not going to love Jorge Jimenez's art forever, he's great. I love his stuff, but like you said, they're always going to be looking for the next big thing, and the big thing right now is Dan Mora and Jorge Jimenez for DC. Frankly, I don't read a lot of Marvel titles at the moment, so I don't know who's there. Brad Pitt.
Well, I'm talking writing more than I am art, right? But Jed McKay is a big major one.
Dan Slott.
You're always going to have your Brian Michael Bendis kicking around. You know what I mean? There's a handful of names that are up there.
Yeah.
Ashley Allen, who does the magic stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what I want a piece of. Give me a piece of give me a one shot at a one shot. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nick, you I want to get into this while you're here. I'm just gonna pop this up on the screen because Nick, it looks like you're being Judge Dredd today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tonight, we are the law.
What did you do, Nick?
Tonight, I am the law.
You didn't tag me though, did you?
No, because you're safe.
So I don't know if you want to read this to the class or if I should.
You can read it. If you want.
I should read it. Okay.
All right, I'll read it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Here, I'll read it because it's probably too small for you.
Yeah, I'm zooming in a little bit. I'm sorry.
All right. So, and I won't do a bad imitation of Nick Capone, even though I'm really tempted to try.
Do it. I want
do it. This goes to all the creators across the board. No one in particular. Thank you. General.
You do not sound like Nick Capone.
I know. That's why I didn't want to do it. All right, I'll do it right. So this goes to all the creators across the board. No one in particular. General hot take regarding indie comics. So I have a hard time believing, Nick, just straight off, that you didn't get triggered by something here.
Yes and no. It's just the common pattern I'm seeing in just as of late. I'm one of so my favorite sport is checking and seeing if all the campaigns I back fulfilled yet, or if the ones that I haven't heard of in a while or heard from in a while have fulfilled or made an update. So, this comes with the territory of me just researching books, constantly checking my Kickstarters, working on my Kickstarters. I also actively check my messages and all the campaigns I backed and see the statuses of my rewards. And I do that pretty weekly, sometimes daily. Some might say that I'm a real motherfucker for that, but it's very tiring when, weeks go by after years of being promised a project and you still got nothing, and it's tiring, man. And so this one in particular, this example, I am just saying that if there should be kind of a set time frame for each creator, and if your book is over a year late from your promise.
Whoa. Let's read it. You're going to get, we'll get in deep here in a minute. Let's just read the statement, right?
Okay.
So rated E for everyone. So that's nice.
Yeah.
If your book is over a year late from your promise, keyword promise fulfillment date, you shouldn't be doing conventions, taking on new projects, commissions, or even attempt to launch a new project and prioritize getting your projects out to your backers you promise a year prior. If your book is over 2 years late, the same rules apply, but less mercy. It's like fucking Cobra Kai. Mercy does not exist in this dojo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything over 3 years late, you suck. And you should really consider itself. You should really consider if self-publishing is for you or not. Backers trusted you. Backers invested money on you. Backers believed in your project or product. Don't be shitty and go silent. So now I'll let you fucking break this down for us, man.
So I think it's pretty fair what I said. I'm not even dancing around it. I don't care if it makes me look like a dick or just like I said, like a real MF. But it's tiring. Like I know it sounds like I sound like a broken record when I say it, but I'm truly an advocate for creators because there's always those few creators who really ruin it for the rest of us when it comes to fulfillment. They'll launch a book and they'll promise us it will be fulfilled within 6 to 9 months. Okay, just that's a normal deadline for them. Great, but those 6 to 9 months turn to 2 years. Those 2 years turn to 3 years. Those 3 years turn to resentment. And some people are like, well, you know what? My $40 is gone. I'm like, that's still $40 you donated to this project. That's still money that you chose to support an artist with, and they delivered nothing. It's truly a slap in the face to other creators because you really are affecting backer trust. You're really affecting, how other, like for future backers, if they're willing to, back another campaign. Like I've seen plenty of comments, whether if it's like David Sandoval's campaigns, and I could talk about him because he went AWOL and he can't do shit. But he's been 3 years late and completely AWOL, and people are reporting his Kickstarters. People are saying like "fuck you, man," and all these different things. And it came to a point where one backer flat out was like, "I'm never gonna back a project ever again in general on Kickstarter because I've been burned so many times by creators." Yeah. So it really is a slap in the face to us. And I was talking about this thread in particular with someone else today, and in regards, they disagreed with the convention.
Well, that was going to be maybe something I was going to tug on, but yeah, I'll let you go first there. You know what I mean?
So I look at it this way, and as someone who also freelances, as someone who also does conventions, and has a very busy schedule, I am not taking that away from anyone. I'm not, because I'm of the same. Like I said, I'm coloring books as I'm drawing my books. So I get it. I get the hustle. But I will say this, and this goes across the board to anyone watching who is in that same boat. If you feel like your current work schedule, your level of deadlines, the level of conventions you do, if you feel like that workload is a lot on its own, I would definitely sit down and do research on what it takes to launch a book, how to crowdfund a book, how to fulfill a book, and see if that timeline, if you added it to your existing schedule, if it's feasible at the moment. I'm not saying never launch a book ever, but I'm also saying be practical. Maybe it's not the right time that you can confidently launch and fulfill a book in this time period. If you have back-to-back conventions all next month, the following month, August, December, and you are nowhere near finished on your book that you promised to your backers, then I just encourage that do your research and even manage your schedule a little better. Feel like what's a realistic time frame to get this done. So it's like I'm not trying to slap the I'm not trying to slap anyone on the wrist, but I'm just saying that look at your schedule, your current schedule. Can you fit a project in there, a crowdfunding project in there? And if the answer is I'm not sure to know, then don't do it because you're really gonna.
I got a lot to say on this, and I'm not going to be as nice as you.
I'm going to inject
hold
something.
on. I know everyone's
this-
going to talk, and it's going to be 15 more minutes before I can get a word in edgewise. So I want
Well,
to
this is
hold on. I
important,
want to chat. Let me get the chat, okay? Because there's guys in the chat who I haven't addressed here in 15 minutes. Lobo Liquor is with us. Lobo Liquor, what's going on now? Lobo Liquor is a local from where I live, so it's good to see locals watching the show and hanging out. And
More angry Canadians.
He's not angry at all. He's one of the chillest guys I met. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
We play Marvel Rivals every now and then together, right?
Gotcha.
And then he'll come and visit me at the shows and say hello and stuff. Crazy, this show, meaning the ECCE, is already around the corner. Yeah, dude, it's 9 days away, man. I got all my stuff ready. There's a few things I got to look at, but I think I know what I'm bringing. I know what things are going to be priced at. I'm going to try and keep things fairly cheap for the ECCE. Like I said, I'm going to have a $5 box. It'll be $5 or less, whatever's in there. And then I'll have some of the more expensive variants out on display, but it should be a good time, yeah. We have Card Shark in the chat, Teal Card Shark 8762, and he says, I think it'd be cool to write more mainstream stuff, but I also believe you have to create more of your own IP, maybe to get more variety with your creations. Funny you mention that. I don't know if you're aware, but I have a second book. I have a different book altogether. It's called Savage Syn, and you can find it on my eBay store. I have 2 issues out of it so far, and it's my love letter to Dungeons & Dragons and Red Sonja. You should definitely check it out. Blight Blazer says, give me my stuff. Grrr. You know what I mean? Now, this is where you really, you got, Nick, you got Massive Panda on fire here. He says, shots fired, capital letters. But seriously, I have to agree with Nick on this one. There are creators out there with full-time jobs getting it done. I understand that life can interrupt, but years to fulfill, come on. And then he goes on to say, Nick, you're spitting hot fire, okay? Hot fire. I agree once again. I heard a lot of people pretending that the slacker practices don't trickle down to other creators, but this definitely affects the smaller guys. We have Card Shark saying that's why Indiegogo had to change the deadlines with some of those projects because some creators couldn't deliver and customers walked away from their site. And then finally, we have my fucking Stellar Blade brother in arms, Mr. TJ Wilson. I got a guilty pleasure. I love watching him play Stellar Blade because it is so fucking funny, man. It is so funny. And I hate to laugh at you, TJ, because I'm not laughing with you. Kind of hoping we're laughing together. But he was playing the other night, and he was chewing away at this boss, right? Fighting this boss. And it's like Dark Souls kind of game, right? So you got to do everything sort of perfectly. If you fuck up, you're kind of dead, right? And I just watched him for a couple of hours just, trying to beat this boss. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to give him, my knowledge. I even did a video showing him how to beat the boss. But the big difference is that my Eve is a lot more powerful than his Eve. Like I got a lot more of a life and some better gear, so I can do it, But he's fighting this boss, and finally, I'm watching him go, and he's almost got it beat, right? And he's like, "Oh fuck!" And I can feel the tension. He's getting excited. It's gonna happen, I'm rooting for him. And the boss has maybe got half an inch of life left. He's 1 or 2 shots, he's fucking done, right? No, TJ fucking dies, man. TJ dies. And man, oh man, you want to hear the angry gamer is fucking hilarious. I'm surprised TJ didn't fucking throw the controller or burn down the house, but he freaked out. He's like, yeah, like a scream, and fucking, I died, and I was lying in bed watching this, and I was laughing, literally, legit in bed out loud. I mean, if anyone heard me, they must have wondered what the fuck is going on. TJ, that was some of the funniest fucking shit I ever seen. And I understand, by the way, that you beaten the boss, and then I was watching you fight another boss. But yeah, TJ too, by the way, has a lot to say, I'm sure, on late books. You did throw the controller. Well, I hope you didn't break it, bro.
Here's hoping, right?
Here's hoping. But going back, now that we got the chat done, Sam, I know you want to sort of go off first, so I'll let you do that.
So anyone who's seeing this before they want to, start cracking excuses, I'm going to give you some real facts here about the man talking about this. So Nick Capone has a day job, has a personal relationship. He's working reliably on multiple projects, and he manages his time. And how do I know that? Because Nick Capone has been working with me for 9 years and change. Okay. When we went to do Tibby and Time Traveling Psychedelic Mushrooms, he was working on Reign of Ages for line art. He had multiple other jobs he was coloring. He was teaching full time and getting everything done to his deadlines. And Nick, knowing his capabilities, keeping his calendar and adjudicating as any true professional should, told me, I don't think I have room to color Tibby. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. I can find someone. He said, I know the guy. And he tap, Dakota Erhan. And now we have Dakota Erhan coloring Tibby. And when Nick has and one of the first questions I'll ask Nick when we have something needs colored, I'll ask him what does his calendar looks like, because I know that he's going to have things booked, and I try to make sure that I'm asking a month and a half ahead of time, right? So before anyone wants to get wise and say, well, you don't know that I've got this, that, and the other thing, no, fuck off. And I don't like to curse, but if you want to come at Nick saying that this is this and this is this, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm going to be the first person to stand up and say, no, you can talk shit to me all you want, but this man's spitting the facts, and I'm not going to stand by and just tolerate it, because he knows what he's freaking talking about. He gets the job done. I've never, ever, and I want you to understand something, 9 years, I have never seen Nick Capone miss a deadline. Never.
Thank you.
I mean, this is the thing, even when we talk, and this goes back to sort of like my mainstream conversation, right? You want to be known as dependable, right? One would think if you do have ambitions of going further in comics, other than, dicking around and dragging your feet for 3 years, you might want to start getting your shit done.
Yeah. I mean, when you find professionals, I'm really spoiled. I'm being the first person to tell you, because Brian introduced me. Who did he introduce me to? He introduced me to Rebecca Coulthart. He introduced me to Alexia Veldhausen. He introduced me to Nick Capone, Christian Martinez, Kelsey Cohen Hardigan. The list goes on. And these are people who put the pro in professional. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really spoiled. So when people come to me and say, well, I want to do this or I want to do that, I'm like, well, that's fine. When we consider people for other projects, we look at the people we work with and try and see if they're interested in it, if they have time in their schedule for it. And that's what you got to do when you're working professionally. You have to see what your schedule looks like. One of the best pieces of advice I heard from one of the instructors at the Kubert School when I was visiting one time was a kid had asked a question. I shouldn't say kid. He was a grown man, but he was like 20 or whatever, right? And he said, how do I know when to raise my rates? And I think it was Kim DeMolder that said this, if I'm not mistaken. Says, when your calendar is full and you still have people trying to hire you, that's when you know it's time to raise your rates.
And I that's exactly what I did too. Like you have to ask yourself how big is your workload, and that will reflect on what you charge. And obviously with the way of how the world is turning, like, do you raise your rates that way? But not like not to completely derail the conversation. Ultimately, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you have a product you want to deliver, and as what Sam mentioned, you want to be the person that's known to deliver. That you know that you're going to get a book from me. You know that if there are any delays, it is communicated, it is straightforward. I'm not dancing around the bush. You're getting direct information. You got to do what we do. I kind of almost hate when people are like, oh yeah, like you just make a book. There's a lot to it. Fulfillment times, dealing with printers, dealing with talent that will drop mid-book, or there will be talent who, you have to find a replacement because you're going against your schedule. So there's all these different scenarios that you have to be ready to combat, and that's just self-publishing on its own. But learning from the Kubert School and just learning from working in the industry, especially as a colorist, like colorists and letterers have like the worst deadlines ever because we're usually the last stage. So we usually have either crazy deadlines or we have flexible deadlines. Depends on what book we're on and who's dropping the ball in the previous stage. So we're always prepared to meet our deadline. You never, and we learned this from the Kubert School, you never ever want to miss a deadline, that especially if you didn't communicate it or if you didn't communicate it prior to your editor, because the industry is small. People will know, like, you missed deadlines, you drop. The amount of projects that were offered to me because another artist or another colorist is known for not hitting their deadlines is astounding. I've been replacements for people because they couldn't hit their deadlines. Don't be that person. And that goes even for conventions. Why I mentioned the convention thing is, if you're not hitting deadlines, if you're not hitting your fulfillment deadlines, but you have the time to go to a convention, you don't think that's going to look a little odd to some people, being like, oh, like, I understand they need to go to the convention to, maybe that's part of their living, but, they prepare for this convention, but they're still stuck on finishing this book. Like, if only they had time to,
So the only argument I can give for that, right?
Yeah.
Is maybe they need the convention to earn money to fucking pay for fulfillment,
I mean, if they're a year late, that's a skill issue.
Well, if they're a year late, that's a management issue.
Well, also, I will counter that, where I can agree, but I can also disagree, because
I mean, barring like exceptional circumstances, like a serious or something.
Had they done like more research on how much it takes to make a book, did you need that extra cover? Did you need that? You have to budget accordingly, and that could help combat anything, like any scenario that regarding like they have to go to a convention because they ran out of their Kickstarter money.
Well, do you think that this problem is mainly, and I don't mean solely, but mostly caused by new creators coming in that just really don't know the steps?
I think so, because I'm the first person to say that I was one of those people. I'm still learning every day when it comes to self-publishing books. It's like a kid in a candy store. You self-publish a book, and I like this person for a cover. I like this person for a cover. I like this person for my interiors. And then, now you have 5 covers that you paid for, and then now you have to pay this artist, and you're like, oh no, like, where'd all my Kickstarter money go? Like, I think I, overdid it. Like, I think it's very important that people need to, especially in this industry in general, you got to practice budgeting. You have to find what's cost effective. You have to find not just what the cost effective, just what's effective. Like, sometimes you don't need all these covers, or, if you really want that Alex Ross cover for 20 grand, is that going to make sales on your book? It can, but it's never a guarantee. I think it'd be stupid if it didn't make a lot of sales, but you never know.
Hey,
and
look,
then
there's artists I brought on that I thought the books would do better than what they did. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So I think ultimately it comes down to, especially for the new creator, learning how to budget a little better when it comes to books. Look at printer costs, like what Sam talks about a lot. Look at different printers. Look at postage. Look at even like certain artists you want to bring on. Look at their follow count. Look at the titles they work on. Can you really bank on them to bring in sales? Like, are they also equally as supportive of your book? Will they share your link around? Like, there's so many different avenues that can be looked at to help budget your book better, so that you're not in the hole when your book funds.
There was a turbulent time called 2014, right?
Yeah.
And during this time, this is, pre-pandemic, all this stuff, and crowdfunding was just really starting to get on the radar for a lot of people, and Brian Pulido has to have the credit for that, because he was one of the first comics I seen on Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never knew what Kickstarter was until Brian Pulido, and I saw him posting about this on Facebook, and it got me thinking, maybe I can do this. So without any knowledge, without any research, of course, I decided to dive head into this shit, right? And gather two locals and see if we couldn't not put together a comic book. And surprisingly enough, we somehow muddled through it and got it done. But I would suggest to any new creator out there, everything that Nick said, like let's everything he said is absolute gold, right? You guys need to start watching YouTube shows like this and others. Even guys I don't like, I can still recommend to you because they're giving out some knowledge. You know what I mean? But you need to start watching and listening and asking fucking questions. What I want to do with these guys, because what I want to do is give the answers in one shot. Okay, here's what I propose, gentlemen, that we take over this facility. No, what I propose is that that we do a video called "So You Want to Do a Kickstarter, huh?"
Yeah.
Right. And we go through all the ins and outs and everything you need to look out for and what to do and what to expect, how much it's going to cost, how long things usually take, how long you're going to wait for pages, how long, like when you give out a delivery date, are you like extending it too far or are you promising things too soon? Like we need to take a good hour and a half and break it down in one single video instead of like people trying to find this shit sort of piecemeal throughout the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
I'm really down for that because I think that could be very helpful. And, especially too, where, again, I was one of those people where it was very daunting for me to publish my own stuff because it's like, I didn't know where to start or like, I knew the physical aspect of making the book that I learned from the Kubert School, but it's like newsflash people watching, making the book for me, at least, making the physical product is the least of my problems when it comes to crowdfunding a book. That's like the last part. That's like the walk in the park. That's like when I just disconnect and be like, okay, like it's all good now, because there's so much that has to go in, you're promoting your pre-launch page, you're promoting your book every day. You have to, build the Kickstarter page. You have to calculate shipping. You have to pick a printer that meets your, like, within your means. You have to hire talent. You have to do so many things. And like, for example, and this is why I don't want to outright call bullshit, but like, I had an issue where with period number 4, where I got my Kickstarter money. I was ready to go to the printer. I used at the time Comics Wellspring. They completely changed everything.
Yeah, they did.
I bugged the fuck out, and within minutes, I found a new printer that I had to go to my letterer and pay her to reformat all the pages. So that took an extra couple of days. But I was so proactive on it that I'm like, I met my fulfillment schedule. My books are being shipped out this week, like to backers. Like I still hit it. So it's such a shitty excuse when people, it takes them over 2 years to put out a book, and it's the same people who want to compete with the big two that put out books.
It's even worse when it's professionals that are doing it, right?
Exactly. And
because we called out the new creator, hey, you need to learn the steps, you need to know what to do. But then there's these sad sacks of shit that fucking take 5 years to put out a book that they promised in 2020.
Mm-hmm. And those are the worst, because it's very clear that they know because of their name that they can get away with it, and that to me is like beyond shitty. But unfortunately, that's just how it is. But it's the truth. It's, we can't keep letting people get away with this, because then people are going to become comfortable with this, like with these habits. And it's bad business. And like I said, there is a way to maneuver through conventions. Like, if I came off harsh, I'm sorry, but there is a way to maneuver. It's called time management. Schedule, get a planner, be like, all right, if I'm at a show this weekend, Monday, Tuesday, when I come home from the day job, I work on fulfilling more, or maybe I have someone, if I have money left over, or if it's within my means, they can fulfill it for me, and I just send them all the product. Like, whatever it is, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
But it all comes down just to time management. It's like, for example, it was purity number 2. I was 9 months late from the fulfillment schedule. So I have had a late book. So I've been there. And, I told my team, like I fired someone on my team for that. And I was like, because they were very delayed and they were juggling work. And I was like, dude, I'm not trying to sound like a dick here. I'm juggling 4 books at the moment, coloring for other people on top of publishing my book. And I still hit all of my deadlines with a day job, so there is a way. It's just, time management. And I think a lot of people need to practice that in a professional scene. And even with what we do, like people need to practice time management. And I promise you, you won't be shooting yourself in the foot every day. Like just get your book out. It's really, it's what you promised to these people who believe in your product, and you're really just disappointing them. Now look, everyone's human. Shit happens. Issues happen. Like if you're in the hospital, that's completely valid.
Communication is what is expected, and that's what sort of never really happens.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in the hospital, you're going to make an update like, hey guys, I'm fucked up. I'm in the hospital for 3 months. There's going to be a delay,
Yeah, absolutely. Like you communicate it. But if you kind of just go in the dark,
ghost,
that's just, if you just ghost your backers, that's not professional. That's not a way of business. And chances are they probably will never come back to you. They will never trust you again. If you launch a new book, they are not going to be, on the first in line. They're going to kind of probably never back a project of yours again.
Well,
so it's like,
Sam, how many times have we had this conversation on this channel?
Tons.
Right? This isn't like fucking anything new, right? We've had this conversation ad nauseum about late books and making the rest of us look bad.
Yep.
Right? And, outside of calling out names, I really don't know how we tackle that problem, People are going to fuck up. New creators are going to make mistakes. Old pros are going to fucking drag feet. It's just kind of the scenario we're in. I've been doing this since 2014. I'm one guy in a fucking small little home in Canada, who's barely making it, but yet I still find a way to get my shit out on time.
Yeah. It's absolutely. And there's always, it's always possible. So it's it's not, it can be very difficult at times, 100%, but it's never impossible. But, going back to what I said about even the conventions, and I'm not saying this in a threatening way because it's not at all, but I'm saying I feel like if I owed a book and I was 3-4 years late on a project, or
hard to kind of show your face around,
Yeah, show your face. You're what if someone comes to your table and be like, "Hey, where's that book you promised us 3 years ago?"
It's happened.
Yeah, it's happened. So it's you look really bad, and you don't want to have that reputation of the person who doesn't fulfill. But do you really want to show your face around a crowd of people who know that you stole this money and ran with it? I don't operate like that. So I wouldn't do that. And any creators watching that are planning to kickstart their books and are juggling whether a day job or freelancing or whatever it is, really look at your schedule and see if it's feasibly possible to launch a book at this moment. Not at all, but at this moment. And if you can't, that's totally okay. Plan, if it's a next year launch, plan for next year. But really do your research on it and really look at your schedule. Get a planner, get 2 planners, get a whiteboard with a planner, whatever it is. Really map out your game plan. Don't just wing it. And I think you'll notice a difference, and you won't be as stressed. You'll know exactly what you have to do, and you won't have to worry about not fulfilling your books.
Years ago, and it's got to be at least 4 or 5 years now, maybe even longer, there was this YouTuber named Captain Cummings, okay? And Captain Cummings had backed the book from this guy. And it was a famous clip because someone had recorded this on their cell phone. And I'm trying to find the clip, and I can't find it because it's so old. But if someone out there in the chat knows where I can get this, send it to me because I want to show Nick so bad. But literally, this guy is out and about, like at some sort of outdoor cafe or whatever, right? And Captain Cummings sees him and goes right up to him. He says, "Hey, you. Yeah, I backed your book. You're late. I don't have my book. I want my $40 back." Like right to the guy, and they get into a big argument right outside, right? To the point where like onlookers like, "Man, just give the guy his $40." You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah. Like it's really like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's not rocket science, people. Just fulfill your project. I'm just like it's
And
really
I'll tell you, and this happened at both conventions I've been at this year. I had people who had backed Kickstarter campaigns, got their books. They're in the Kentucky area, had come to the cons, and then they're like, "Hey, I forgot to ask to get my book signed during the Kickstarter campaign. Can you sign my books?" Hell yeah, sign the books, and they're like, "Oh, cool, you've got this other title. That's neat," and pick up that or pick up art prints or whatever. The key rule, and it's the same rule you'll see in every major religion around the world. There's a reason for it. And no matter how you want to say it, how pretty you want to make it, the basic tenet is don't be a dick. Okay? Get your shit done. Get it out to people in basically under promise, over deliver, and you'll be fine, guys. There's a lot of little steps that go into that. Scheduling, like Nick addressed. Managing your money, like Larry addressed. And then, of course, doing your research ahead of time to know what it's going to take to get it done, and asking questions. I think one thing that is a good rule, guys, even after you've been doing this a long, long time, is if you didn't learn something new on the campaign, you need to stop and reflect and see what you can find that you can learn to do better next time. Because I think there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
You know? Always take a look back. And like Nick was talking about how difficult it was to make the transition to put his own books out. And Nick has been right in the thick of things before that for years, not just with Sonoba Books, but around Jan and everyone else. I mean, he's been working. I would hate to have to think about how many different projects you've been on that have been on Kickstarter over the years, Nick.
Yeah. And there, you know, it's I always hit my deadline, and that's the important thing. And then even when it comes to crowdfunding books, I always recommend too, what kind of helps with just guaranteed fulfillment is, you know, be realistic with what you offer. Like my golden rule, as long as it fits in a bag and board, I will check it out. I will dabble with it. But you know, how long is it going to take to get bookmarks printed? How long is it going to take to get stickers printed? How long is it going to take to get lanyards printed? Like, these are all valid things that, you know, you need as a creator need to understand and ask yourself, because sometimes certain things take longer than others. Sometimes if something is coming from another country, it might take longer with shipping. Sometimes, like, there are so many different factors that come to play that can affect your fulfillment times. Like, I've seen people launch action figures on Kickstarter, and they were very realistic with their deadlines, and they hit their deadlines. They said, this will take 1.5 years to fulfill. Like, they put it on the estimated delivery, and they are a real one for that. I respect people like that, because they're not bullshitting people and being like, yeah, you're going to get your action figure in 6 months. Like, you know, you are like, this is how long it's going to take. It's being mass produced in China. And then, you know, this is how long production, they gave us an estimate, and, you know, you go with that. But you have to ask questions. You have to do your research. You can't just wing it. Like, you can't just be like, one day, I want to make an art book. I have no art to put in for it yet, but I'm going to fulfill this book in 5 months from now. And, you know, 5 months pass and you barely have 30% of your book done. So it's like, it's very important that you take those steps.
So the chat is so fucking awesome. You guys are the best. Because, and by the way, hello, I'm on camera. Yeah. Because we're gonna do a little show and tell here in a minute. But we have the clip. We have I can't wait to show this to you, Nick. So I got a timestamp. It's at 1:16:49. So 1:16. Oh yeah, there it is too. So what this is, by the way,
seem amused.
So let me give some context to where this clip. This is in a documentary about Comicsgate by Elasma. So this is in the middle of the documentary. Anyone who wants to watch the rest of the documentary, the link is in the chat right there. Massapana has put it in there. This is very short, so but it's so fucking funny. All right.
Yeah.
So just we got a couple of seconds before we hit the clip here, but that's Roro Kamar, the ex-leader of a defunct group once known as War Campaign, who were essentially foot soldiers for Ethan Van Sciver's internet crusades. Okay. So I don't know what's happening here.
Needless to say, Malin won that night.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of what would be the severance between John Malin and War Campaign. In our sector of CG, excitement was brewing for a slew of new books, including Wide Holidays, Ardana, the aforementioned Cyborg USA, Simon Potier's Blood Hunt, and War Campaign's own comic, Vestige.
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to give me my $40 or do you not?
I'd be glad to give you $40. You
Okay.
never asked me directly for $40, Phil. All you've done is lie about me.
I've
No,
sent
never
you
have.
multiple
You have
emails.
never
I've
sent me
shown it
emails.
on video.
You've never sent me.
Do you
emails.
want to send me? Do you want to give me my
Be Claymore.
$40 in my hand,
Be
or
Claymore.
do we want to walk off?
Be Claymore.
Because I do not have time for your bullshit.
Philip.
You can give me $40 now and
Philip.
shut me up, or I can walk off because I have things that I need to do.
bclaymore@gmail.com. I've asked you many times. to
I've
talk to me
sent it to you on
directly.
Patreon multiple times. I don't know your Gmail.
bclaymore@gmail.com.
I've sent it to your Kickstarter. I've sent it to your Kickstarter multiple times, multiple
Let me ask you
messages.
this, Philip. Is that a reason to just attack me out of the blue? with a
Attack
bunch
for
of
you for
bullshit
what?
That you made up?
What did I make up?
Really? Your very first video about me was completely invented, and you know that.
Which one?
I had no
What
idea
did
that
I?
you were this crazy
State
SJW.
State something that I states something that I states something that states. You
I'm
just
not gonna get
engaged
into it
me.
so you can put it on your video. That's right. I want to have a conversation with you because you're not man enough.
I
to
just
talk
want
to
my
me face to face.
$40. I have things to
That's
do.
all
Are you
want.
going to give me my $40 now?
Let me ask you a question.
Are you going to give me my $40 that you owe me now, or should I just walk off?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, then I'll just walk off.
Philip, I'd like to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you unless you have $40. Okay, I'm going to call the police then.
You know, I went.
Wow. Nerds gone wild, man. That was insane.
I'm sorry, I'm a boomer. What did you think of that clip, Sam?
I'm at a loss.
Well, it's the exact scenario that Nick kept presenting.
See, here's
to
the
us,
thing.
though,
He
right?
seems to know who the guy is, right? He calls him by name, and he keeps. And the dude said, "Are you gonna give me my money?"
Well, like Nick said, though, small
And the
circles.
guy-
So one guy was a comic book creator. The other guy was like a barely popular YouTuber at the time.
But it still applies. Like, you know, imagine that at a convention. Like, you know, that's like what I mean. Like, you know, one time
at band
this
camp.
is very early in my career, but one time I was taking on more than I could chew, and I was behind on one book, and the client for that book called me out and saying, you know, you're very behind on my book, but, you know, I see on social media you're actively looking for new work. So can you explain that? Is there, like, can you prioritize my book for now because you're months behind? This was like maybe like year 5 months in of my career. Like I was like baby colorist. But yeah, like, you know, it feels shitty to be called out like that. So, you know, that's why scheduling is
And
very,
you can tell,
very-
dude didn't even have the $40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because had he had it, you know, I mean, if that was me,
Oh.
like here's the $40. Now shut the fuck up, dude. You know.
I mean, look, let's be honest here. If a book is like 4 years late, whatever you
getting it.
donate to that book, that money's gone.
Gone.
That money is gone. That money is kaput.
There was another book, and I will call it out because a lot of our friends happen to have done a little bit of work for this guy, and that was Kaiju Mania. Remember that one, Sam?
Yeah. Now, I did not back that book.
No, but I mean, Pete worked on it. Phil has done some work on it.
Yes. And the only reason I didn't back that book is because I was broke as fuck. Yeah, that was shitty all the way around.
Yeah.
So guys, don't do that. And if you are going to be late, just say it. You know what I mean? Now, if you're going to just take the money and run, this is probably the wrong place to sort of do that at. Because if you do that, and people have done it, Kaiju Mania has done it, David Sandoff has done it. I'm telling you now, we're fucking taking names. We're taking note. At some point, you guys are going to be called out for it. It's not something we do on the regular, but god damn it, we got to protect our own here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I become like people like that have turned me into a very impatient person. So I just stopped caring, and I'm like, you know what? They are single-handedly affecting other creators and their success, and it's very selfish and it's shitty. So,
well, crowdfunding for a lot of people was new, like era 2019, 2021, right? And a lot of people back during that time. They had extra money. It was COVID, this and that. Now we fast forward 4 or 5 years, and people go, "Oh shit!" Like I haven't gotten like half the things I've ordered. You know what I mean? Yep. So no wonder the numbers of crowdfunding in 2026 aren't like they were in 2020 and 2021. Because things then were new and on fire. No one knew that they were all going to get burned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
fast forward, there you go, man. Billy Powermax is in the chat, and he says, "Nerds gone wild." This is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should bring back the Boomer Girl. Someday I'll bring her back. I still have the gift somewhere. Billy Powermax says, "I'm still waiting on books from certain creators." I bet you are. You know what I mean?
No, I think that I might start following the rule that if you have a creator book that you have out and you're late on, and you come asking me if I have work for you, I think the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good rule to have. We'll hang that up right next to the rule when someone says, "Hey, do you have an artist who works cheap?"
Yeah. I mean,
Nick's seen me answer that question.
But I'll tell you, word of mouth, since the industry's small, I feel like a lot of people don't realize this, but people will ask around. Like, I'll use Sam as an example. If Sam was like a penciler and he was interested in working for me, I'll probably message Larry and be like, "Hey, what's it like working with Sam?
Is he fucking horrible, dude?"
And and then I'll ask Sam, and then I'll ask Larry, and I'll ask someone else, and be like, "How's working with Sam?" And they're like, they're good, but they missed a deadline or two, but they made up for it. But they really haven't had a problem since. Like, I think that they would be fine. Like, ultimately, word travels fast, and it's not just by it's beyond just a portfolio review. It's how do you work in this? Can you hit deadlines? Can you are you a team player? Can you work well with other people on it? There's so many different factors. So it's like, don't just think that you're gonna throw like a portfolio in my face and you can draw your best Batman and think that you're gonna work for me. Like, I still need to know your work ethic and how you work. Like, are you good? Are you good with people? Are you a fucking Nazi, or are you like a fucking good person? Like, things like that. Like, I need to know. Like,
you got to vet them a little bit,
So I think too, as an artist, you have to also be willing to reach out to people who've worked with a creator before and see what it's like. Because and again, Nick can vouch for this. When people come to me and asking what about working with me, I usually, the ones I actually think I'm going to work with, I'll tell them, "Hey, reach out to some of the people I've worked with before. Alexia Veldhausen, Damian Torres, Christian Martinez, Nick Capone, Aisha Gulsnev. The list goes on and on and on, right? Get their perspective of it. Don't trust me for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and the same thing too, when I need someone and everyone's busy, and then I ask around, and this is how we ended up working with Damian Torres, because Alexia was busy. Nick was busy. Christian was busy. Chelsea was. Everyone was busy, really. And I needed something very particular done. It was for the art print for Reign of Ages. We needed the Reign line art done, and Alexia and Nick and Aisha and Christian, all these people say you want individually, mind you, not in a group chat or anything. Just message me, say you guy you want's Damian Torres, and now I work with Damian Torres all the time too.
Yeah, but guys, I have my meeting. Can I come back in like an hour if you guys are still on?
Oh, I'm not going to be on in an hour from now.
Boo! I'm so
you
sorry.
go do your meeting. Me and Sam will wrap up here. You know what I mean?
Yep, we've got show and tell stuff still to do.
All right, sounds good, dude. Thank you guys for having me.
All right,
Peace out,
Dan.
everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.
Talk to you this weekend, Nick.
Have a good one. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. No, I knew he wasn't going to be around as long as
Yeah.
we are, so I wanted to do his stuff first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is show and tell. I don't have much to show and tell, but I will show and tell just a little bit. I did go to the comic book shop. I did buy a couple of books, but it's only a couple of books. I'll start off with Amazing Spider-Man number 30 as we near the mammoth 1,000 issue of Spider-Man, and if we were going by the legacy numbers, right?
That's a really cool cover.
So we got Spider-Man versus the Spore, and I have to read all these. They're still piling up. I haven't been reading my Spider-Man. Even though it's the one book on my pull list. It's the one I started with, and it's the one I'll end with. Now, this other book, though, I forgot was coming out today, and it's like, oh, yeah, we got this for you. And this is the J. Scott Campbell Just Spectacular Collection with Sabine Rich, who's the colorist for all of J. Scott's work here. And what this is essentially an art book, okay? In like a comic book, you know? So it's all the covers that J. Scott had done for the collection series, the J. Scott Campbell collection series.
Oh, nice.
Right? So there's some like behind the scenes sketches and all the covers, you know what I mean? And the Nyobi art book is going to be something like this, only it's going to be like in a square bound format, you know, like not like a comic, right? But it's kind of cool to get this as a comic because, you know, I get to see all the art, you know, there's lots of notes and stuff inside about what's going on, you know what I mean? And it was like, you know, $5.99, whatever it was, right? You know, it's like good like just really, you know, I can't wait to actually, you know, read all of this. You know what I mean? There's X-Men Annual 10, by the way. That's one of my first comics I ever really had, you know. And that's Art Adams cover right there. So all kinds of good stuff in here, man. Can't wait to actually read all this and, you know, just sort of flip through the art. Of course, there's Black Cat right there, one of his more famous sort of drawings, right? Like he's really good at doing Black Cat, you know. We got all the X-Men. Where's my girl Magic? I'm sure she's got to be in here. Oh, there's a 2-page Ghost Rider right there.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Right? Isn't that sick, man? You know what I mean? Some Spider-Gwen, some Hulk. Yeah, oh, good. He's put some of the sketches of Magic there. So there you go. Right there. So those were the two things I picked up. Like I said, I would have grabbed Cyclops 5, but it was sold out. So I guess they didn't order enough. You know what I mean? Like, oh, 2-page Wolverine. And then a whole bunch of them together. I didn't see that one. That's kind of cool.
Oh, that is badass.
Right? And then the list of the books that's in the collection. So, yeah, pretty cool. You know, nice double wraparound cover. J. Scott Campbell. Sort of like art comic book, man. It's kind of cool. For a J. Scott Campbell fan, you can't go wrong. By the way, guys, since that's all I have to show and tell, I'll just point out a couple of things here. Give me this. Give me one of these. On the Nyobi eBay store. If you want to check out my work, what it is that I do, what it is that I write. You want some back issues. Maybe you're missing some variant covers. We got things like this. This is Nyobi number 2, the RB White variant cover featuring the first appearance of Avani. That's up on the eBay store. We got from Antarctic Press, Nyobi number 3, the Ben Dunn variant cover. There's a set of these up on the eBay store. We also have, by the way, if you just want to jump in Nyobi, you're not really quite sure where to start, maybe start with Nyobi the trade paperback, also on eBay, amongst a bunch of other stuff that I got on the eBay store. The link is in the chat right over there, somewhere over there. Go ahead and click on that. Peruse the store, see if there's anything you want. You buy something, it helps out me, helps out the channel, it helps out our girl right here, and means that we can make future comics, you know? So please, everyone, dig in and dig deep. Right?
Cool.
That's short and sweet for my show and tell, dude. There really isn't a lot this time around, you know?
Yeah, my show and tell is mostly back issues, but man, did I find some back issues. So, guys, we're going to cast our Wayback Machine all the way back to 1993.
Whoa.
January 1993, because of all the things to find in the Pit, #1.
Yeah.
The image release.
I love you, Mandy Summers.
Look how freaking clear that freaking cover is, man.
Of course, that is Dale Keown.
It is indeed. And the thing too is like this thing is probably, if I graded it, I'd say it's gonna get at least an 8.
Oh, it's probably better than an 8.
It's nice, it's clean.
I mean, if it's nice and clean and you're not seeing any obvious dents or problems, chances are it's probably a 9, you know.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna grade it or not, but I'm thinking about it. Now this I saw and I grabbed it just because the Pit I grabbed because I've never had that issue. This I grabbed because I used to have this issue, and then it was in my collection that was destroyed. But this, ladies and gentlemen, we're going all the way back to 1995.
All right. Back to the future.
DC Comics, Babylon 5, issue 1.
Babylon 5.
Hells yeah, man. And get this. One of the ads in it, remember Street Fighter?
I do.
Isn't that something, man?
Wild.
But I love this old art style. There are some freaky little things like what they did with the old boy's forehead on this, right? But just really, really, really fun comic. I dig it. Now this next one, and again, I was just randomly sticking my fingers in the backstock on this and managed to land something from 1997.
Okay.
So we're in the 90s for all 3 of these backstock pieces. Guys from Crusade Comics, Tomoe, Unforgettable Fire story arc, issue 1.
Yeah, I remember this. Barely.
But you talk about something that was really beautifully done.
Yes, sir.
This book is just damn pretty.
See, I think I got a crossover with Witchblade with this. Yeah.
Yeah. It was either Witchblade or Evangeline.
One or the other. I have it, though. I know I have it.
But, I mean, this thing is gorgeous.
That's pure 90s bad girl art right there. Does it say who the artist is?
Let's see who the cover artist is. Hold on a second. We are. It does not say who the cover is on this.
No. If you look in the front inside cover, it should tell you like.
That's what I'm looking at. And I don't see it, man.
It doesn't tell you who drew the pages.
Penciler's J.G. Jones. Yeah, inker was Cesar. It tells us who the colorists are, but doesn't tell us who the cover artist was.
Well, the cover artist is probably the same person that drew the book, though.
The initials are JJB.
There it is.
So that, I mean, maybe it's a stylized G and not a B. I don't know. So maybe it is Jones. I'm not sure. But it's really gorgeously done. And, of course, this character is created by Billy Tucci. And he's credited as such in there, but just gorgeous little thing, and one I didn't have either, so I want to make sure I got it. But my new purchase today, I think this actually came out last week and I missed it, from Mad Cave.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was really impressed by this. Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, yeah.
#1. The cover on this is just sharp.
It is.
You know? And then the interiors on this, I got to tell you, man, the interior art on this is beautifully done. It's dynamic. The storytelling, because I've read through about half of it already, the storytelling is really well paced. Whoever did the lettering on this is absolutely phenomenal. Who did the lettering on this? Buddy Bodoon. David Pipos did the writing, and artist was David Tinto. Colorist was Rex Locus, who I've actually never heard of.
Me either.
Is this cover A?
I mean, back then I wasn't really paying attention other than maybe who was writing and who was drawing, you know? Now I kind of pay attention to it all because you never know who you might need to reach out for work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know if this came out this week or last week or what, but it was on the new shelf, and I did not have it, and I knew I wanted it as soon as I saw it because it really hooked me hard. But the team that put this together, and this book is hefty too, man. I haven't counted out the pages, but it's probably at least 28, 32, something like that.
Right.
This is Mad Cave really put together some quality on this one.
I got a Speed Racer crossover with Ninja High School, and it comes with a card that I found on eBay a few years ago. Pretty wild stuff, man. That's some cool show and tell, brother. Yeah, I mean, this is it, man. We won't keep this up too much longer. There was a couple of things I said I would talk about, so we'll briefly, go over this. The Absolute Universe is on fire, and DC confirms new Catwoman series with first official trailer, and apparently, it's epic. So I asked my comic book shop when I was in there today. I said, I kind of missed out on this whole Batman thing, right? But at least put me down for the first issue of Absolute Catwoman #1, just to see. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a spec book. Maybe it goes up. Maybe it's going to suck. I have no clue. But put me down for #1 just to see what's going on. Here's a look at some of the... well, actually, let's watch the trailer. Fuck it. Let me reshare this just to make sure there's audio. Trailers for comic books. I don't know if they work or not, but we're going to find out. Sell you 6-issue miniseries. It's not even an ongoing, it's a miniseries now, which is another thing I'm noticing, is that a lot of stuff that would have been an ongoing series is now sort of just coming out as limited series. Sam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wrapping up particular story arcs, I kind of think that one of the reasons that we're seeing more of that is the same reason we see it in indie comics, is they don't want to try and commit for like 2-3 year runs or something if a book doesn't sell.
Correct.
I think that I like some of the cover art on this. I'm kind of wondering about what the story really is here. In 6 issues, you can tell a pretty good story in 6 issues. You can.
Sure. Well, they go on to say here, DC has officially dropped a trailer. As Batman's most iconic love interest, Selena Kyle has enjoyed a remarkable run at DC Comics over the last decade. During that time, she's evolved far from beyond the romantic role of being Batman's counterpart to becoming a major character in her own right, who can attract readers and headline projects without Batman by her side. She's been able to do that since Jim Ballant. Let's fucking be honest here. Some of her most notable appearances include her ongoing Catwoman series from 2018 up, special releases such as Catwoman, the 80th anniversary, 100-page super spectacular #1, major crossover events like Batwoman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, and the animated film Catwoman Hunted back in 2022. And if you haven't seen that, go watch it. She has also played a significant role in Matt Reeves' The Batman and Scott Snyder's best-selling Absolute Batman series. That latter project is particularly noteworthy as the Absolute Universe incarnation of Selina Kyle is now stepping out from the shadow of the Batman-centric title to headline her own solo series, Absolute Catwoman, brought to life by Scott Snyder and Shea Grayson, alongside Bengal and Giovanna Nero. Sorry if I'm fucking up the names. The series has now achieved its first official trailer, which we just watched here. Catwoman made her first appearance in the Absolute Universe, debuting as a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, who has since evolved into a John Wick-level operative, armed with cutting-edge technology and backed by a bank account that rivals even some of the main universe's Bruce Wayne. This version of Selina Kyle operates on a level of badassery that fans have never seen before. That's sort of it, man. She's a childhood friend of Batman. She's kind of like John Wick, and apparently has a lot of human monies. Or at least someone backing her with a lot of human monies. You know what I mean?
Hey, human monies are good monies.
That's it, man.
Martian monies ain't worth shit.
The Absolute Universe incarnation is also morally gray. No shit. While she arrives to help Bruce in the moment of need during the battle against Bane and Absolute Batman, she also maintains ties to the very criminals that Batman is fighting. That connection becomes difficult to ignore, given that Catwoman sports striking similar technology geared to Black Mask, the first major villain that Bruce has faced in the series. So, with the Absolute Universe, there's a lot of hype. Obviously, Absolute Batman's on 21, 22 issues now. They do like 100 and some odd different covers for it. Most of them are retail exclusives and convention exclusives, right?
Right.
But still a lot of overkill, oversaturation. But I think a lot of people are going to be looking at, Absolute Catwoman as hopefully the next sort of money maker spec book. And I don't know if they're going to get that, but we'll find out.
I don't know that it will be, but you bring up an interesting point about these exclusive cover options, because we've seen artists who have had their own exclusives and offered on their websites and such. And I think that maybe we'll see more of that in the coming years. That might be a newer thing that has less of a risk proposition for comic companies when, say, an aspiring comic cover artist can take and say, yeah, I'm going to drop, $3,000 and get $1,500 or whatever the press run is for my exclusive cover option for Absolute Dick Grayson or whatever the hell it is, right?
Absolute Dick.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's an interesting option. I don't think it's going to be really, really hot for speculation. But what the hell do I know? I don't spec on books. I make books and I buy books and I read books, like I picked up Pitt because I didn't have it.
Is Absolute Catwoman #1 something that will be on your radar? Massive Panda asks when it comes out. It releases next week, June 10th.
It's too late to pre-order it, but I will probably see if it's in the shop. And if it is, then we'll show it next week.
There you go. I plan to pick up a copy. I'm not planning on buying all 6 unless if it really fucking grabs me, But then if I do that, then I got to put something else on the chopping block. Like I'm only buying a couple comics a week. That's all I can afford right now. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Until I get some steady work in.
I have something too that I want to announce because I forgot to mention this earlier.
No,
so, and what brought this to mind was that Bright Blazer was saying he's adopted the rule of one campaign at a time, and I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Sure.
Guys, first off, the link to the pre-launch page for Reign of Ages issue 4 is in the chat. I'm going to put it in there again. If you aren't following the page already, please do so. We're going to get those big numbers bigger. And then take a look at the cover options because they are absolutely gorgeous. But the other thing, too, is next week I should have an image I'm going to show you guys, which is an artwork I commissioned from Damian Torres. And what this is about is this is kind of a celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States, right? It's our 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. And to celebrate that, we have an artwork that Damian Torres is currently working on. It should be done Sunday or Monday. which is why we're not showing it right now. And it's Tibby from Tibby and her time traveling psychedelic mushrooms. It's a safe for work image. We've done a composition that is reminiscent of Rockwell in the traditional Americana stuff that he did for years and years and years. And in that composition style with Damien's artwork. And we're going to be putting that out available as an art print. And we'll either have it on Backer Kit or Fund My Comic. It depends on if I can get some things worked out on the Backer Kit site, because I've never used it. I've started to put campaigns on there and then had to change my mind due to a few reasons. But it will be happening basically right after the end of the Reign of Ages campaign. Now, I could put it on Kickstarter, but the thing is that I want to get that done. I might even launch it in the second week of the Reign campaign. And the reason being is we're going to ship that as soon as possible. I'm actually going to be pre-ordering a base press run from what I usually do. So we're going to have like a debut backer tier on this, where the first 500 backers, it ships like immediately, right? As soon as we get the money in from Kickstarter to pay for the shipping. And we're going to put that out. It's going to be your typical Damien Torres brilliance. So, guys, like I said, we've got, and I think we showed this earlier, Nick is going to review the details on this to make sure I haven't missed anything. Reign of Ages issue 4 is done. I've found the things that I need to correct. I'm going to finish those up probably Friday night, which is basically the copyright declaration, updating the back ad to replace it with the Sky Maiden Studios ads. We've got the Aisha Golsanev cover, and then the Walter Giovanni cover that was actually colored by Nick. We used a slightly different finish on these. I think it came out really, really well with that. And we're going to be shipping these as soon as we get the money from Kickstarter. But we'll order the actual copies ahead of that, so that basically we'll get the shipping money in. I'll pay myself back for the money I've spent on the print run, and then bada boom, people will get their stuff out. This is going to be a short campaign, 14 days. If you're worried about the price points, the books are $10 plus shipping, either cover. So, and we're going to have some of the, like I showed earlier, the add-ons are there too. So if you have read Reign before, I'd love to see your opinion on it. Plaster it on the social media and tag me anywhere. You'll find this on Sinopa Publishing, and then on Facebook as Sinopa Publishing, and as myself, William Samuel Quinton. Love to see what your thoughts are. And huge shout out to all you guys anyway, because you've really done some fantastic work sharing things out. Our main social media activity goes on X/Twitter, and we posted a link on June the 1st. Today's the 3rd. We've had 878 views, 14 retweets on this already, which from my little social media account is freaking tremendous. So, guys, love what you're doing. Please don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. We have a Dingus Den dropping in on the chat.
Yes, and I will be on YouTube on his show on Sunday.
Oh, who's Dingus Den then? Tell me.
Well, he is a local creator. He is also does a show with Lunchbox Warren Brown, and they talk about pop culture items. And I think that I don't know if he wants me giving out his actual name or not. So I'm not going to dox him. But I've met him several times in person at conventions here in Kentucky. He's, I assume, read the books that he's bought, and he seems to enjoy them. So it was good. I actually didn't know he had a show until Lexington Toy and Comic Festival. It just never came up. And then when we were talking, it turned. Yeah, sorry about that. We were talking. It turned out that he was also doing shows with Warren, and which I thought was pretty cool.
There you go. Well, we'll let Sam answer his messages here. Let him do his thing here, and we'll let everyone go. One last thing to cover for tonight is you guys know I'm a gamer and like myself some Marvel, but we got Marvel token First Strike, #1, comics and variants for the new Marvel fighting game coming out for the PS5 and the PC. And I'm excited for this. This is going to be dropping August 26th. And you guys have been watching the channel. You know that I've been loving all the trailers for this game. I can't wait for it. Here's a look at the book, Token First Strike. And this is a good example, again, of Marvel and the comics tying shit in with their other sort of properties that are out there, like the video games and cartoons and movies and stuff of that nature, right?
Yep.
So perfect, man. We got a Wolverine cover right here. And then we got these right here, right? And these covers are going to be for different books, and the whole list is right here. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm going to be looking for the Magic one. But I'll show everything. So this is going to be for Amazing Spider-Man 35. That's a Token Souls cover. We got Star-Lord for Avengers Armageddon. We got a Captain America 14. Doctor Doom here for Doom Quest 4. We got Miss Marvel for Inglorious X-Force #8. We got Iron Man for Iron Man #8. Kind of a weird-looking manga Iron Man there. You know what I mean? We got Ghost Rider, the Mark Spector Moon Knight #7 variant. We got Danger, of course, that's the Sentient Danger Room from X-Men. You'll see more of that later. Uncanny X-Men 33. We got Wolverine, of course, for Wolverine 26. And My Girl Magic. This will be the one that I get. I'm not going to get the whole set. I'll just get this one. Magic for X-Men 35. And this is the sole reason why we're playing the game. That's my girl. We got Storm for X-Men 36. And then I think, yeah, we just did a loop. So there they are, you know, the Token Souls variant covers. Again, I just like to see these things cross over. I think it's good for business. I think, again, much like Marvel Rivals, people are going to play this game who've never read a Marvel comic before. You know, like there's going to be 14-year-old kids who are going to play this game that never picked up a Spider-Man comic or an X-Men comic, because what they've been reading is Death Note and One Piece, okay? But they might fall in love with the game and fall in love with the characters, and because they love the characters in this game, they're going to follow that character to other media. I've seen it now with Magic. I've seen it now with Luna. You know what I mean? It's good for comics. What do you think, Sam?
I think it's a good idea. The whole thing with cross-promoting across multiple different fields of entertainment just works well, because you don't, it's like the whole saying, you don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. You have your revenue that you're generating from your game, right? You have your revenue you're generating from your comic, from your movies. People who share interest from the movie to the game, or from the game to the comic, or whatever, you're going to see little pockets of little extra revenue. And you're going to see some outliers where people who just want the game don't care about the comics or the movie, or who just want the movie don't care about the game or the comics. And I think doing that covers the bases nicely. It helps you, of course, monetize your material. I think that the big problem that we saw with Marvel in particular is where they took, and with some of the movies landing really flat, I think that hurt some of the other properties. And so it's good to see them coming back with, you know, games that are strong and doing well. Marvel Rivals, of course, being the first one that comes to my mind. That's been hugely popular as an outsider looking in on that one. And, you know, seeing people come to comics from the X-Men 97 cartoon too. And I mean, I saw X-Men 97 comics at the shop today.
I did. I almost picked one up. I just didn't have enough money, you know. I was just like, man,
Yeah.
I want to spend less than like fucking $15 today on comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that when it's done right, it can not only benefit you as a business, but I think it benefits the fans. And I'm going to say something that I've believed for a long time, but I was reminded of it today. During lunch, I was watching a video, but I'm sorry, guys. I've told everyone I'm on live stream. Apparently they don't care.
Well, we'll wrap it up here in a minute.
But one of the things that I was watching during lunch was this video by this creator called Asmongold. Are you familiar?
I am.
Okay, so he was talking about the issue between Steam and one of the video game companies. The CEO of this other video company was putting out some stuff on social media that just were a little weird, right?
Right.
But his assertion was that their launcher for the video game company really puts their interests first, whereas Steam in its current iteration really puts the customer first. And so if you want to complain about Steam and what they're doing while you have a similar launcher and you're using their services as well, the thing isn't to sit there and bitch and moan about it. It's to improve your service, right? And I think that we can all learn from that in putting the customer first, right? So we all have our own stories to tell. I'm not going to say kowtow to what changes your story, but I mean, we can control things like the quality of the art, the quality of the printing, the swiftness of our delivery, our price points. We have a degree of control on that, and we can model that to put our customers first. And I got to tell you guys, it's done a lot for me. And I mean, I have a very, very small audience. I get it, but it grows. And I'm hoping it grows more. But I think the best way to do it is by putting those customers first.
Sam, we got breaking news.
All right.
Yeah, it's breaking news, so I'm going to hit the record button on this one.
Okay.
For a separate sort of bite-sized news video. But an
Cool.
hour ago, Dark Horse Entertainment has released a statement.
Okay.
So this is from their Twitter. This just happened an hour ago. So here we go again. Bite-sized news, giving you more to chew on. And chew on this statement regarding the Dark Horse Workers United. So you know that Dark Horse has a group of employees looking to unionize, and whether Dark Horse was going to recognize said union or not, right? Well, here we go. To all the members of the Dark Horse Workers United and everyone at Dark Horse, I am pleased to announce that Dark Horse Comics is willing to voluntarily recognize Dark Horse Workers United as a recognized collective bargaining representative under the standards established by the National Labor Relations Board. Our representatives have reached out to the union's attorney to initiate the appropriate next steps in the process. I've read your statement carefully and realized that organizing a union is not something people do lightly. It takes courage, coordination, and a level of trust in each other. I understand that the employees' disappointment of how issues have historically been addressed. You've taken this step because you believe Dark Horse can do better, and so do I. Over the years, the company has asked a great deal of its employees. People have poured themselves into this work, accepting conditions, absorbing uncertainty, and sometimes carrying burdens that were not always fairly distributed because they believe in what Dark Horse stood for. That belief is something we must honor. Dark Horse understands and accepts the obligation to change, and we embark on this journey, and we will do so in genuine partnership with the entire team. Voluntary recognition is an unusual step for employers, but in doing so, Dark Horse intends to reaffirm its commitment that this new leadership wants to do things differently and enter into good faith bargaining, not because we're required to do so, but because it's the right thing to do. The path to a strong Dark Horse runs through a workforce that feels heard, respected, and genuinely invested in the company's future. Not that one feels like it must fight on just to be seen. To our creators and licensors, the team at Dark Horse Comics has delivered excellence for you time and time again. We see that excellence. Dark Horse is committed to providing a more supportive environment to ensure that our legacy continues. To fans of Dark Horse Comics, we care deeply not just about the stories we bring you, but about how we bring them to life. With greater respect and improved working conditions, we build a Dark Horse that you can believe in far more than just great comics. On behalf of the Dark Horse Comics leadership team, we look forward to sitting down at the bargaining table at Dark Horse Workers United and continue to build something of which we are proud of. With all respect, Jay Comas, interim CEO, Dark Horse Comics. There you go, right there. Union has been formed, I would say.
Sounds like it.
Any thoughts? Any comments? What do you think of this?
Do
you think this is going to be happening with other publishers across the board down the road? Do you think?
I think the number of publishers who have full-time employees is vanishingly small, and that in itself is not a good thing. I'm not saying that, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of companies
Because we've
with
heard that
unions form.
Image, had people wanting to unionize over there too.
Yeah. I just think that there are so few publishing companies for comics that actually have full-time employees. I just don't see it happening very much. For example, I don't have any full-time employees,
No, me
right?
either.
So that's just not a thing. Now, if I did, I would have to wonder why the people I hired would want to unionize, right?
Mhm.
But there's something to be learned from there. I'm not really anti-union. I've just had a lot of really bad experiences with unions.
Yeah, I've never been in a union. My mother was, so I mean, good thing that she was too, because she had worked at this place for 30 some odd years, and it did a lot to sort of give her job security and protection and whatnot. I just don't know how feasible a union is in comics, because comics is so like in this day and age, you don't know if a company's going to be around next year or not. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, look what happened to Diamond.
Right.
Look what happened to Aftershock.
Right. Card Shark in the chat says, I honestly think it's going to fail, considering that most companies don't want to deal with unions, but maybe I'm not sure. I have no idea. Like, this will be like a real good test run to see how well this works out. And I think other companies will be sort of watching and keeping an eye on what happens with Dark Horse for the next little bit.
Didn't Dark Horse just close their retail stores?
They did. There's a lot of restructuring. And if you notice, when I read the CEO's name, it said interim CEO.
Yes.
Right. So there's lots of sort of shaky ground, I would say, going on,
That's not a job I would want. I mean,
Right.
and no shade on Dark Horse. I wouldn't want to be an interim CEO anywhere. You know a job I really wouldn't want?
What's that?
CEO of IDW. I would not want that job. I would not want
much
that
does it
job.
pay?
I don't care. I mean, if you're gonna give me like $1 million signing bonus, then sure. But short of that, I would really not want to be the CEO of IDW.
Well, there's a lot of pressure when you're running like a company that large, right? Dark Horse, IDW, Boom Studios, whatever it is, right? Like for you and me, we're just self-publishing. You know what I mean?
Right. I get that, but I just, I would feel completely fine running like a security company or a construction company. No problem. That wouldn't bother me a bit.
Mhm.
I would. So I'm. You want a little inside baseball?
That's what this show is all about. Please.
I had a meeting with my bank, because I had some questions, because I have a project I am researching, but it looks like I need $150 million.
Well, good luck with that.
So yeah, and so the project is to start building things that last, and things that don't have smart features, right? So heavy duty, built to last 100 years, refrigerators, stoves, electric lawnmowers that are built to last, for 50, 60 years and not crap out after a little bit. Pulling back some old technologies and old features that people really love, and putting them into production. And production is hard, notoriously. So, looking around at stuff like that, I would be more comfortable starting that kind of startup than I would running IDW.
In the chat, let's see what we got going on. Massapana says, Sam, why not IDW? It's because that they're handling really precious and sometimes fragile properties that they didn't create, such as TMNT and Sonic. I want what's best for those IPs.
I do too. I want what's best for those IPs. The problem I have is that they lost a lot of intellectual property licenses because they weren't taking good care of it. And I just don't know if they can recover from that, because I don't think IDW really has much, if anything, of their own IP. They closed down their board game division a few years ago. That, my understanding was, that was the only profitable division in the company. I'm not sure what facilitated that decision.
Right.
But especially considering when they closed it. But that's the key thing. I think that IDW and one of the big reasons why not Massive Panda is it's a big ship. There's a lot of people in there who've been doing things a certain way for a long time, and these are the same people that got it to where it is. And I think if you're going to try and turn that around, you've got to change the whole work culture. You're going to have to make personnel changes. You're going to get a lot of flack for that. I think that rather than being the chair at IDW, I would rather start my own startup.
Well,
even if it meant having to get. I don't even know if IDW stock is even public anymore. Is it? I don't think it's traded anymore.
I have no clue.
But I mean, it fell off a freaking cliff. Let's take a look. I don't know. We can see.
Well, my deal is, like it's hard for me to like do like outside of like Marvel giving me a magic spot. I don't know how well I could work underneath like someone else's sort of telling me what to do, because I've been so used to running my own ship in the world of comics that, I would, well, what do you mean I can't, have this panel in the book? Like, what the fuck, like.
So their stock price, according to AI, is between today's range, $32.50, but less than 100 shares traded.
Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about the stock market, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's bad.
Okay, well, that's bad. Well, you don't want bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, the price is a lot better than it was at $2.50. I think for a while it was even lower than that. I think it was like $1.25 for a little while. I'd have to look at the history on it, but yeah, I would not want to be charged with writing that ship. I would much rather do a startup.
This is it, man. I want to thank Samuel L. Quinton for hanging out with us tonight. He's been getting a barrage of messages. I think it's about time we let him go answer those.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I've actually got my phone muted, and what you're hearing is it's hitting my phone, and my phone is vibrating, and it's bouncing against the acrylics that I have up, that I have the comics standing on.
That's it.
So I was taking photos and stuff earlier.
I will be back a little later tonight, maybe in an hour or two. I'm just gonna, fuck off and take a break myself. But then I'm gonna come back on and just probably do a little bit of gaming. I'm gonna be also, sorting out some shit for this convention I'm doing in a few days. Well, 9 days from now. Maybe a little eBay posting, just shit like that. So come by and say hello again a little later tonight. Probably swing the sword as Magic and Marvel Rivals. Might even play a little Stellar Blade, because I've been watching TJ do it and I kind of got the bug again, so. We will see. Sam, anything else you want to say before I let you go?
Yeah. Thanks again, guys, for all you've been doing. Bright Blazer, Massive Panda, and of course, Dingus Den. You guys rock. I think I'm forgetting Teal Shark in that equation. But yeah, Billy Power Max. Guys, really appreciate y'all, all the support y'all have been throwing my way. And then Teal Shark also asked if we ever thought about going to MegaCon. I actually am going to be applying for MegaCon for next year. That doesn't necessarily mean I'll get in, but I do really want to go. There's a few things that have to happen in order for me to go. I specifically need to get out the books I have releasing this year, because I need more product to carry with me, because that's an expensive show to do. And I really am going to need to have as much chance to capture the audience as I can. But beyond that, the other thing I want to say, guys, make sure you're following the Reign of Ages 4 campaign. We're going to launch on Friday. And then let me know in the chat if you guys are excited about the Tibby 4th of July art print. It's going to be gorgeous. We'll show that off. I might actually get to show it off on Dingus Den's recording we do on Sunday. But we'll definitely should have it Wednesday of next week to show off too. And we'll be live at that point with Reign of Ages 4. So that should be a huge good time.
Big night coming up on Friday. And of course, we will touch base with Sam next week if he's around for, again, our sort of normal Wednesday podcast. I'm on randomly throughout the week, but the one night you can count on, in most cases, 9 times out of 10 is the Wednesday night show, so. That's the big one for me, and I like having Sam and Nick come by, and you never know. Like maybe we'll round up the Sensei in the future episode. We'll get him in here. I'm gonna be looking at who we can bring in as guests, but we kind of have to make this kind of consistent for a little while. That hey, everyone knows Wednesday night, Nyobi's on with the boys again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
and when we do the crowdfunding stream, there's a couple other people I'd like to suggest that we reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Shea being one, Madeline Holly Rossing being another, and I think 5 or 6 people. How many people can you accommodate? 6?
I can have 5. Others like I would be number 6.
Okay, so yeah, I would suggest those 2 then.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can reach out to them. That's no problem. We just need to figure out when.
We will make it happen, Captain. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Dingus says, glad to have caught the last bit here. Made sure to sub. Thank you so much. Again, I'll be on just gaming. If that's not your thing, feel free to ignore those streams. But on Wednesday night is the Comic Book Podcast. This is when we come on. We give you as much inside baseball as we possibly can from our narrow little perspectives, if you know what I mean. All right, Sam, I'm going to let you go. Have a good one, brother.
Later, guys.
Boom. That is it. That is all, man. I hope you guys had a good night. I hope everyone came out and, found some value in it with what we do. We got Snowball here. We're going to bang out to a song and call it a night. You know what I'm saying? What shall it be, though? Shall it be? How about the Nyobi song? There's a Nyobi song. Let's find it. Can I find it? There's a will, there's a way, and stop calling me Will. I actually have a new one. It's actually on an MP3. Yar, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there it is. All right, new Nyobi song. Here we go. Sam's off to fulfill his destiny. This is it, brother. You know what I mean?
Nyobi online. Teleport in 3, 2, 1. How you like that? Pink hair glowing in the neon rain. J-pop bad girl logging in again. Teleport flash, I'm already on your screen. Running this channel like it's my whole regime. Bite-sized news, every night I go live. Dropping comic drops while I frag and I thrive. Marvel rivals chaos, I'm magic supreme. Portals with the limbo souls in my dream. One blink and I'm gone, one shot and they scream. Nyobi Lee, the glitch in your team. So the energy surge, pink light in my veins. Controller in hand, breaking all the chains. City lights flicker when I enter the game. This is my protocol. Neon idol attack. Lighting up the whole track. From the comic panels to the live stream hack. Bad girl teleporting, never looking back. How you like that? Running through the grid like that. Now the rivals raging, taking on the map. Eon Queen Hyacinth. Put your hands up. Tekken 8 arena, I'm a Williams mode. Red dress, deadly heels on overload. Mix-ups, cooking rage, art explode. Watch me combo broken while the chat overloads. Tifa fist flying when I switch the game. Materia glowing, setting worlds aflame. But between the matches, I drop new issues hot. Nyobi comic pages, that's the real plot. Outbreak spreading, fans going wild. Independent idol with the future compiled. Heartbeat sinking with the bass so loud. Digital goddess moving through the crowd. Power charging, standing tall and proud. This is my protocol. When the system tries to crash my stream, I just smile, blink, and re-roll the dream. Pink energy flowing through every fight. J-pop warrior owning the night.